よし。案の定ですね、追加。大読みちゃんが全滅して。読み出し、書き出し、接続。
頑張れ。
これで OK で、YouTube、ライブ。で、OK、いけた。いけた。よしよしよしよし。久しぶりすぎてあれだな。何もかも忘れてる。で、
どうだうどよ。
OK。ナビの試合、13時から、いつや ?PGL。OK。OK、OK。いらない、いらない、いらない。もうちょい上。ちょい上。ここら辺。こんなでかくなかった気がするんだよな。こんなもんかな。よし
give him some help.
Yeah.
You know, and unfortunately that kind of has panned out. What do you make of their chances here?
Well, they have tried to give them some help by bringing in Knock. That's a very recent addition to the team for Afro in the AWP department, and I think Knock is certainly still a very strong opper. Blame F, obviously a guy that you know is going to get his numbers. On this team, he actually plays a little bit more aggressively than he's played on some other teams, which is kind of nice. Granted, a lot of those are eco rounds, unfortunately, but
Okay.
about that. He
戻ってきた。
can still make plays is my point anywhere he's at on the map. And then, you know, honestly, kind of looking through the rest of it, I think Body does a pretty good job. You know, kind of IGLing and helping with the entry work, and then Maddie's is a strong aggressive rifler. And as we get into the pick bans here, I mean, obviously, like the main bans you're expecting to see is, you know, NaVi eventually getting rid of Vertigo and Fnatic eventually getting rid of Nuke. But after that, I think it could go kind of a bunch of different directions. And NaVi's map pool is just so wide that I think that they can really feel good anywhere. I am surprised they let this go to Inferno though.
バン
'cause
バ
that's
ンバン。
actually one of the
インフェル
few
ノ
maps Fnatic
マ
has
ジ
looked consistently pretty sharp on an online play. That's like that, and maybe their Ancient have been kind of their better map. So I'm kind of shocked that NaVi let it go to Inferno, which to me is kind of like more of a mid-table map for them. Like I think they're one of the best teams in the world on Dust 2 and
どうでし
Mirage,
ょう。
and I think their Ancient and
いい
Nuke
反
are
応があれば
very
いいけ
good.
ど
So to see them somehow let it get to Inferno,
まあ
that's
所
kind
詮
of
ナビ
surprising.
なのでね相手はねまあ
I
気楽に見ようや
gone in so many directions if you're Fnatic, and none of them would have been a good answer there. Like, I don't think there's really any hope for them in this series or this BO1. I feel like they're dealing with so many different problems right now. Like, one guy we never even mentioned here is Crims. We talk about the fact that he's a rock, he's a legend, but in reality, if you watch them on their player cams through online
まあみんな時差ボケとかもあると思うから
like, he's getting really mad at what's going on in their team right now, and it feels like they are not synergized whatsoever
逆に
right
な
now, whereas Navi has been pretty much at this point a case study in how to make a team look as flawless and smooth as possible.
Yeah. Just anything to add to that regarding Fnatic's chances, because you're surprised at it being on Inferno.
Yeah, I mean, with it being a best of one and with it being Inferno, like the one map where I have seen Fnatic actually perform to some decent of a level, like there's like, I mean, you take like the 1% chance to like maybe like a 10% chance. Like it's obviously still Navi very much the
も
favorite.
うちょっと
Again, they're
今日はちゃんと寝る
Inferno.
た
It's
め
kind of
に
middle of the table. Their map pool. They still beaten some really good teams along the
強
way.
めに
Still
睡
have a
眠
positive
薬飲んだ
record
から
on
ま
the
だ
map.
脳
So
が死んでる
they,
な
they must have thought of a reason why they would allow it to get to Inferno in a best of one. And you still certainly have to make them the favorites. I mean, again, as you know, Maya was talking about earlier, they show you the blueprint of how to play this game. And they know how to play the fundamentals well, and they can throw in some cool pacing.
Well, there's always the bit factor on Inferno as well, right?
Yep.
Like he just hits that flow
久し
state
ぶりに
like
配信
Jedi,
した
you
の
know,
で
and
1 ヶ
that's
月
it,
ぶり
it's
ぐ
all
ら
over,
い
you know.
I mean, he's the Prince of Pit.
設定がいろいろ
I
多
mean,
分
he's unbelievable
完璧にはなっておらず
in
レア
there,
フライ
in
せい
many
で
ways,
豆
and in
さんが
terms of his
絶
lurking
望
as
した
well,
人み
very
たいに
strong.
ま
I
みえ
guess the
る
one
わら
guy that I think people should really keep an eye out for on the Fnatic side is Mattis.
Where?
We only know him right now because
い
he
や
has a
暗いかや
dusty
っぱ
old
り
mouse pad that he's still just kind of like
You've seen
dragging
that.
through the mud and just like
直すかこれ
I don't even know what he's done to it at this point. Like he's probably tearing up the edges himself at this point. Big Wabi Sabi fan, obviously, but I don't know if that's going to be good enough here.
All right, guys.
そっか
thanks a lot
俺
for
の
your
画面
thoughts.
であ
We're
れなの
ready to
か
get into the game, so we're going over to the casters, which are Moses and Dinko.
明るくなってるから
Thank you very much, Richard. Yeah, I think there's
こ
lots
れ
to
は
look
そう
out
で
for. The
す
desk has given us everything we need to look out for. We need to look out for Crim's tilting, Mattis's dirty mouse pad, and a
And
chance
Maui's-
that
いやで
Fnatic
も
might
そん
beat
な
them.
に
And Maui's cleavage, you got to look out for that as well.
That's true. That chest
Yeah,
terror,
yeah.
it wakes me up in the morning.
It's
Jason.
looking great. It's really looking
ちょっと落としたんだ
stylish.
よな
Navi
明るさ
taking
を
on Fnatic to
Let's
open up the
let's
EU
go.
RMR. Nicely laid out by
ちょ
the
っと後で
comment,
流してきます
by
わ
the desk. We're the commentators. We're not the desk.
We're going to highlight it as
Yeah.
best as we can.
Yeah, as
now,
best as
Jason.
we can.
We're going to do what we can.
Look, this is a really tall task for Fnatic. Obviously, Dust was talking a lot about it, and no reason to argue with him at all. Navi is the best team in the world, and they are poised to have a very, very good run at this major as well. And we'll see what they can do coming out of that really rough Blast World Finals, but it's all good. We can forget about that quickly with a good performance here. Alexi taken down quickly. Now it's all on the dualies of Wonderful.
いい FB
Also a second player in behind the sandbags.
ゴーゴーゴーゴー止まる止まる
Comes out
いいね
swinging.
いい
Blame
FB ですよ
to
今の
down
は
him. And now 3 players gone from the Navi defense. The B bomb site has toppled.
ボディ一人
Fnatic
の
into
犠牲
the
にどうにかなっ
4v2,
た
which should result in the pistol round quite comfortably.
Yeah, nice little pistol run. Now, I mean, it seems so far gone. If there was a best of 3, I don't think you'd have anyone even talking about Fnatic having a chance whatsoever. But you put this in a best of 1, and you've got some players in here on the Fnatic side, as rough it as it may have looked. A good performance out of Blame F, good performance out of Mattis, good performance out of Knock, which we've seen. Those guys can carry Fnatic through a lot of stretches. So the best of 1 can be very, very dangerous for them as well.
Yeah. I like what Maui said about looking out for
Kura,
Mattis.
kura, kura,
though, as
kura,
an
kura.
individual player. I
Kura,
think
kura,
he's-
kura, 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 kura.
Uh-oh. Two kills back, get away around the corner, run away from it. It might- oh,
Kura, kura, kura,
if
kura.
he gets back to it with the
Oh,
choice,
危ない。
time would have probably been a problem anyway.
Yeah, I don't think he would
危
have
ない。
It was
そんな
stylish towards
ハッ
the
スル
end.
プレイしない。
But yeah, Maui's saying, look out for Mattis's individual skill. I think we definitely seen glimpses of him in his time in Fnatic so far, especially
なん
being
で
one of
一
those
人
players
ずつ
that
顔出してくの
hasn't
やめてやめ
necessarily
て。
had experience near the top of Counter-Strike and was showing that he was at times capable of playing at the level.
A cool little preview on that pistol round of something we can talk about as well for a little bit that we all kind of know already is that this performance out of EMA recently. You want to talk about that first major victory being a little bit of a fluke for Navi. I don't think there's really a whole lot of argument for that, but then you look at the way that EMA has developed, that BIT has developed, and this team has come together. The step up in performance from EMA and BIT from that major has been what has kind of locked Navi in as the best team in the world at the moment. That gamble of picking up EMA out of Paris after just one glimpse of what he can do on a big stage, high risk,
今です
high
か
reward.
今は数字上で言うとランキングは、34位で
They've got
す
the。reward now.
Well, speaking of high risk, high reward, Bit is down bottom
対
middle,
し
and he's
て
come
今
out
相
with
手
a
の
kill
チー
there.
ムナビは、
Unfortunately, those
ラン
two
キン
that
グ
Navi
1位
picked
で
up
す。
early have been traded immediately by Fnatic, so 3v3.
Yeah, but Fnatic also doesn't realize that the A bomb site was wide open after that kind of a push. Now they're going to start moving in, but it's EMA! We just said his name!
始ま
Oh
った
my
よ。
god, Emma. Another
Ah,
chance to bring down
ah,
Blamef.
ah,
This would be 3 on the Deagle, but Blamef stands strong. He's low in HP, but you always got to give Blamef a chance in these situations. Bomb goes down on default, and he's still a long way off here. JL's at bottom middle, and Blamef just smokes out
ちな
short.
みに今
It's not the most comfortable position to play this post.
I don't think
finally
that
for
smoke
Blamef.
actually helps him all that much either. I think that smoke actually makes him feel a little bit more
He
nervous.
can't
WBC
move. He's got to worry about apps. He's got to worry about short, long.
じゃなく
And now he
て
moves into the bomb site. He hears the steps
WBSC で
along.
す
They're coming up
プレミア
together.
12 っ
Blamef
て
has a shot at this. Inside the site though, JL drops him with one shot on the
向こう狩り
deagle.
すらもでき
And
ない
that's Navi bouncing back
プロ野
immediately
球やっ
with
て
the
ると思うんですけど
Yeah,
今日も
he
試合
had
はあ
to
り
try
ます
and
け
get a
ど
reposition and somehow, and I'm
1位
not
の国
exactly
が
sure. You obviously can't trust
日本
going
です
into
1位
pit.
日本ね
Alexi was holding that angle. Really smart play from Alexi, just being patient.
34
Realizing his
位
biggest
は
role is keeping track of Blamef,
アルゼンチン
not
です
allowing the pit
今
access
日
for
本
that
対アル
pit
ゼン
because
チンの
it's such a
野球の試合
strong
をしてると思って
position.
ください
But EMA steps up. The Deagle delivers. And Navi
FIFA ラン
respond
キングで言う
immediately
と
with a second round, and that's gotta hurt for Fnatic because you come into this looking to cause an
FIFA
upset.
ラン
And
キ
it's
ン
alright,
グ
guys.
で
Let's
言
get
う
out to a good
と
start. Let's
1
win
位はア
that
ルゼ
pistol.
ンチン
Let's
代表
convert.
なん
Let's go
で
on to the first gun round.
34位のロシア代表と試合してると思ってください。ロシア対アルゼンチンですね。
We
こ
know
れ
you
ね
did a
サッ
decent
カー
amount
で
of
言うとね
damage to the CT side. You got 3
ノーメ
kills
ス
and also a bomb plant. So Fnatic going
結
for a
構
force
格差
buy
ある
straight
と
away
思って
again.
いい感じで
Galil
す
out on
か
body.
ね。
いや
Everybody
だいぶ
else
格差あり
upgraded
ますね。
pistols. But you've just got to
ナ
favor
ビは
what
この
Navi
大
brought
会
to the
の
table
今
here
メジャー
with an
大会
AK
の
saved
優
over
勝
in the
候
hands
補の
of
一つ
JL.
です
0
が
and 4 A1s.
フナティックは今これメジャーこれ予選なので
They've got banana
ト
control
ップ
early as
8位
well
ま
from
でに
JL.
8位かな
Sure
7
that
位かな
that's in possession of
入ら
Navi.
なきゃいけないですね。7位かな。7位までに入らなきゃいけないんですけど、まあそれすらできるかなーっていう。ギリギリ7位で入れたらいいなーがここで
Love
す。
Mason Crims.
Yeah, it's good to see him. Ball brother.
ナビは目
just
つぶっても入れるんで
Yeah,
すけ
we
ど。
we just stick up for each other. We got each other's back. we have like a little WhatsApp group with all the bald players in the
Elise
Counter-Strike scene.
recently, the
Very
most
actually
additions
Yeah.
from Grim.
Yeah.
That's
No,
good.
we haven't counted Grim yet. Grim?
No?
No, not yet.
Because he has a choice.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. Well, Crim's
He's
been
just
in this
a-
team for
バ
8
クネッ
years,
ト
Jason.
3.0
I know.
っていう
That's crazy.
I love it. It's great.
机
He's
と
just a
使った
franchise
から
player. Although it's got to be, I mean, Maui's talking about seeing him being
あーで
frustrated
も
at
最
work
近
camp
も
to the
何人か
online
チー
play. I
トに
think
あ
it's
っ
a
て
couple
チー
of
ト
things,
バ
right?
ン
I
いや
think
試
it's
合中に
obviously
はバンされてない
share
け
some
ど、まあ、
frustration
何人
about
か
this
通報した
particular
やつ
team
ら
and
は
some
バ
of
ン
the
されてた
struggles
ね
they're。going on in this
まあ
path.
でも
I think it's
遭
also
遇
with
することに
Crims,
は遭遇
you
す
know,
る
the
で、どう
fact
しても
that
そ
he's
の
having to
遭
play
遇す
so
る
many
前には消
online
えない。
tournaments. Fnatic really haven't been to a whole lot of
40秒入
LAN
れたら
tournaments
偉い
this year. In fact, they've only been to 2 like tier 1 LANs, which is, well, obviously these RMRs, but the ESL Pro Leagues, and they haven't done particularly well at those. And I think the other part is the constant rebuilding phase of Fnatic that has never been able to get its feet set.
Oh my god, never getting their feet set in this round either is
抜かれて
JL.
診断後。
Probably should have got more out of the back of the site, but eventually getting taken down by Crims. And Alexi B was damaged, so he's forced behind the coffin smoke. Fortunately, Imma spam through that CT smoke has resulted in another kill here for Navi. And no bomb plant for Fnatic.
Ah,
Grenade lands
EH.
perfectly on top of Crims.
EH.
Despite getting into the B bomb site, there was never a comfortable chance to actually plant. And Blamef not really in a position to fight this one. So he's going to get away, try and save that Galil. And Kevlar, there's absolutely nothing to play with in the next round for Fnatic without a bomb plant. So finally, reset fully down to the eco.
Yeah, I don't know if it was entirely worth BlameF staying alive though for that round. He gets no bonus money.
Fnatic
But
いいフェ下手なんだよね、今ね。
yeah, but this is almost a situation where it's like you got
でバック
350,
ネ
you
ッ
have a Galil
ト
and
で言う
armor,
と、
everyone else
一
is
回
going
も
to
ま
be
だ試合
saving
中
with
に
no
キャンセ
armor.
ルになった
Fnatic
ことない
picks
で
up the
すね。
Deagle. So there's not really a whole lot of danger. That Galil's not going to
基
carry
本
you
的に
through a
は
round.
試
And
合
then
が
all
終
of
わ
a
っ
sudden you
た
go into the
試
next
合
one
中
and
に
your
リ
buy's
ポ
going
ー
to be
ト
limited.
し
So
て
kind of a worst
試
case
合が
scenario
終わ
right now for
っ
Fnatic.
てまあ2週間か3週間ぐらい経った後にこいつバンしたでってレポートが来るぐらい。
Yeah.
But he's been a consistently top player in the world. You know, last 4 years he's been in the top 20 of
よっ
HLTV.
ぽど
But he's only been to
スカウ
one
トとか
major.
D 連
this,
射し
and
て
that
く
to
るや
me
つ
is
ない
so
と
surprising. Like one
バン
major
され
in
てない。
that entire time, despite being a top player for 4 years.
Well, remember, he really kind of had his breakout on that
まああと
complexity
マップ
roster
ビル
that,
と
that
言い
came
ますね。
together. That
D2 と
Jason
イン
Light
セン
built
トは
the
比較的遭遇する率
and
高い
then
ですね。
obviously, you know, kind of we hit the
イン
COVID
フェあんまり
era,
チー
the
ターに合わ
online
ない。
era, the pandemic, and much like some of the other players we discuss in the Americas RMR, you know, when you're kind of best moment of your career, your rise up moment is during those
D2 は
you know,
遭遇
year
率
and a
は
half,
ちょっ
2 year
と高めです。
stretch of COVID. Yeah, you just haven't been able to get to majors, so really, really
And then
unfortunate.
he joined Astralis and he couldn't get to majors either.
Yeah, failed the last one right here in this studio. And that's what
Not
cost
looking
him.
like they're going to make this one, Jason.
That's what cost him his spot
メ
in
ジ
the
ャー
Astralis
予選が
roster.
始まる前にアフロ
That's exactly what
ア
happened.
フロ蹴って
Wonderful. Ima.
脳をくれた意味があるのか
Two
どう
first
か
kills
が
here
こ
for
こで
Navi. Mattis at least getting something on
判
the
明するん
Deagle,
だが
but it should be a shutdown. A 3-1 lead out
な
front
る
here for
まあ
Navi. And still, you can see the effects of the BlameF save, as you mentioned earlier. He's still at $2,750 while the rest of his teammates
マ
combined.
ティスの
Yeah,
バウン
it's
スパッ
not
ト
pretty.
今でもボロボロで
It's
すね。
not
今日
ideal.
も
So
ボロ
he's
雑
going to be
巾みた
stuck
いな。
back to the Deagle.
ちなみに掲示板の方を
Fnatic with the
パソ
two
コ
round
ン買い
deficit,
替え
and
たん
it's just going to
で
get more and
読み
more
込みツール入れたんで
difficult
すが
as Wonderful brings out the
全然う
AWP.
まくいかなく
Emo's
て
coming in
コメントは見え
hot
て
in
ま
this
す
game, 8 and
今
3 to
の
start.
マティス
Even
の
bit
マスパッ
over
ト
at
今
the
でも
A
ボロ
bomb
ボロは
site.
見えるんですけ
Very,
ど
very intimidating
棒読み
defense
ちゃん
to
が
have to
反応
break
してくれ
through.
なくてです
And
ね
then you add in Wonderful's
ちょ
AWP,
っ
and
と
it's like,
いまだに
oh,
試
okay,
行錯
well,
誤
this
中で
is
す
not going to be fun. Oh, Homeboy's wearing a Chicago Bulls shirt.
Damn.
Shout out to Jordan one time.
コメントは見えてます
Just, yeah, that guy.
ちょっとだけコメントをくれる
He's
かもしれ
pretty good.
Pretty decent Chicago Bulls player.
パソ
Yeah,
コン
Derrick
古い
Rose
ジャン
retired
ルで
recently. You don't know anything
ない。
about
パソ
that.
コン変えたん
Don't
で
know Derrick
今
Rose. I wasn't,
カウンターストライクやってて
you
も
know, not
400 FPS ぐらい
massively
出てます
basketball. I know Michael Jordan though.
Yeah, of course you do. So
There's the Chicago Bulls logo looks something. Apparently the logo looks like something else. Let me see if I can find out what that is.
this little tactical timeout from Fnatic has switched into a tech. So small issue as we see the coaches talking to the referees to get things figured out really early on in this game. 3-1 scoreline.
Yeah, if you turn the Chicago Bulls logo upside down, it looks like a
何のト
crab
ラブル
getting sort of intimate with a sort of alien robot kind of thing.
That's what you're bringing to the table for the RMRs, Dinko?
Yeah. So if you
CPU と
want to check that out,
マザーボードだけ
guys,
買い
that's
替え
what
ても
you
10
know,
万
you can
か
enjoy that.
今だから
something-
あれ出るじゃないですか
something I noticed, Jason.
All
9800
my
ね
37 years, Dinko, I've
AMD
never even
の
heard anything like that before.
Well, you know,
I now have.
you
Yeah.
look at the
CPU
Chicago Bulls logo.
It's a new
different
pers-
now.
CPU
it's a new
は
perspective.
AMD の Ryzen の7850 7950X3 で買いました
And the tech issues of this tournament have been fixed really fast. So here we are.
It's a floating chicken.
Look, it's legless like you, Jason.
Yeah, true. It's missing its
Oh,
there
never
we go.
mind.
Hey, what's up?
Just like you, the like suddenly appeared.
Yeah, like Jesus, just walking on air, which Jesus didn't do. But here we are. Back to the game of Counter-Strike.
Yeah, just like Jesus.
It
Jason.
is very early in the day. And the tech issues are still unresolved. Well, this is going to be a cool game, cool day of Counter-Strike. Obviously, I think these RMRs are so much fun. We had the B stream schedule. Oh, never mind. We don't have to go into that. Shout out to the referees for saving me.
Yeah, but that B string game is
Never mind.
Vitality Gamer
It's another
Legion.
tactical pause.
Yeah.
So we'll just go right
Vitality
back into
Gamer
it.
Legion, right on that B string, Jason.
Yeah, I think that's cool. Like, it's going to be a hard one for Gamer Legion, but I really like Ash. I really like his perspective on the game, and he makes some wonderful content.
Yeah.
So obviously, he's the coach of Gamer Legion. Feel free to go check out his YouTube channel. He's got a lot of cool information if you want to learn how the game of Counter-Strike is played on a professional level. Very, very valuable. I think over on that beast
これは買った時は11万円ぐらい
is
でした
super intriguing.
あでも10万か
Cloud9
な
obviously
セールで
very disappointing
で
even
分割で買いまし
with
た
this roster kind of being built up.
だからもうちょっと待っとけば
pieces, and we know
9
FaZe have had plenty of issues this year, and also
あと今度出る新しいやつが買えたんですけど
especially if you chuck them into a
そう
dark
かいろ
isolated
いろ
hotel
ちょっとね
room.
2ヶ月ぐらい前からちょっと脳が破壊されてましたね
Always struggle at RMRs, man.
何もやる気が起きないいわゆるお風呂キャンセル界隈みたいになってたんで
Chance anymore.
It's true.
And the last chance at the for the Paris
でも
RMR.
7800X3D AMD は、定期的に安くなりますよ。 Amazon では安くならないですけど、つくもとかドスパラとか、あそこら辺パソコン、いわゆるパソコンショップ、秋葉まで行かなきゃいけないっていう制約はありますけど、Twitter フォローしとくと、いいぞ、ベイ。いいファーストキルだ。まず J を起こした。フォローしとくと定期的にマザーボードセットで9万9000円とか結構見ますよ。ツイッター貼っときましょうか。もう今はないかもな。だからその新しい AMD の CPU が出るっていう情報があったから結構みんな在庫処分でバンバン割引していってたんだよね、セットとマザーボード。
前は7万くらいでセットやってましたね。
そうそうそうそう。やりゃできるじゃねえかお前。いいぞ。ネットショップでもやってくれてんのかな。ネットショップはなさそうだな。ネットショップはなさそう。いいんじゃん、いいんじゃん。でも X3D ついてる方が CS では良いらしいよ。知らないけど、これは検証しながらだけど。まあゲームするんだったら、まあ俺はこれもう完全にゲーム PC でしたから。写真編集とか動画編集もできるけど、そんなに毎日やるわけじゃない。CS2 はその新しいトレインも重いんだよな。まだパソコン買い替えてない人からすると。
実際の FPS 検証動画見てると X3D 見るとそのようですね。
まあその X3D がついてるかついてないかで FPS が200も300も変わるわけじゃないけどいいね。ないけど、まあ数字上はいいから、まあ精神衛生上はいい。薬飲んだ。よし。
Well, the round's done, so it doesn't look like there's
そ
going
の
to be a whole
俺
lot
は
of opportunities here for Fnatic, but they're going to
強
go
化
out and
人
try and
間
break
と。
through B.
Yeah, you have two options really for Fnatic, which is save for the round or head to banana and just do a set piece onto the B bomb
And
site.
considering the time, the set piece doesn't seem like a bad idea at all.
No, not in any way. They got a smoke for the cross. They got Molotovs for new box for coffins if they want to be able to crack in. A couple of This is the problem. Is this follow-up smoke? Alexi, the sole defender, just as you could see Bit and Wonderful clearing alt mid, and Bit can start getting aggressive. The entire idea is we're pushing and getting information, and there's nothing here, so delay. And that's exactly what Alexi's doing. So this is played perfectly for Navi. Good protocols with utility. They know exactly what's coming.
事故りそう、事故りそう、19秒。やばい、何か事故る予感がする。よしよし、いけいけいけいけいけ。ああ。何やってんの。
Yeah, absolutely spectacular. Opens it up in banana with a double, closes it out with a
下手なチームが上手いチーム相手にうまくやろうとするな。パッションパッション。
I think he's always a fun conversation at the moment because
ちょっとイリアちょっとサクッと入らんかい。任され。何をうまくしようとしとんのじゃ。 Oh my gosh.
Okay, don't you even say it.
Is there a world if JL gets a second major MVP this year with a second major trophy, and if you go back,
ナビの胸を借りるつもりでプレイしろ。
JL was a monster, like the amount of clutches and impact he had. So at what point does the impact of JL overcome the statistics of some of the other players? Could you insert him into that conversation, just as a hypothetical exercise, a rhetorical exercise? a thought exercise, if you will.
I personally, I'm not going to make that call, Jason. But the fact that he's a rifler as well, and if you get a second major MVP on a rifle, that's very impressive.
I mean, his stats are never, ever going to match up with those guys. But in terms of the impact he's been able to have for Navi, the importance of the round wins that he gives them that help them win the big matches and the big tournaments, you could probably, I feel like you can make a really good argument that he should, in some level, be involved in the conversation. And a second major MVP could make it a very interesting conversation.
I mean, yeah, and you look at the performance in Singapore. It was obviously Navi's worst event. You look at JL, he didn't have a great performance whatsoever. And obviously a lot of Navi players, but him in particular, struggled at that tournament, so he doesn't play well.
That
tournament cracked me up, because I remember it opened up and I read the Blade interview where he's just like, heading
本来であればメジャーチャンピオン同士の熱い戦いになるはず
way
なんだ
too
から
much confidence, and his boys were like, we hear you, coach. We got your back.
We'll
Last place.
We got exactly what you need.
Yeah. Don't worry, coach. We're not going to be confident whatsoever. We'll go out last.
I mean, it was getting a little ridiculous with the amount of finals they were making in a row, and I think there was a certain point where you expected to see a drop-off.
That's Blade's designed roadmap was win-win-win.
そうだ
last place.
ウーロちょっとご飯食べに行くので
Just to humble us a little bit.
I mean, you would imagine they would have taken some extended breaks as well before that tournament. There was obvious exhaustion in Rio. A lot of sort of bickering and a lot of conversation about how tired they were on the circuit, so not surprising to see them come into Singapore not in the best of forms. Pretty slow start here from Fnatic though in Inferno, and when you go this far down in the MR12 BO1, you've got a mountain to climb.
It's not bad at the moment. I think what's unfortunate for Fnatic is you have to look at the really important swing rounds, and they've already missed the opportunity at one. There was that buy up from Navi where they had the 2 MP9s and were running out of money. Would have been a massive round for Fnatic to win, to take away the economy and maybe be able to scrap some more rounds together with easier against pistols. They need to set themselves up for that again, which means you're going to have to win 2 rounds in a row. That's a great start. Nice peak from Bit, but a better reaction from Crims.
Yeah, I guess the dink off for Bit. Here comes the play into the B-bomb
待ってる
side
作
for
戦
Fnatic.
いいんか
Do they
これ
realize how
合っ
close
てる
that
のか
was?
これ
It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, Alexi's gonna have a rude awakening. Utility comes in.
こうなるわな
tosses out
とりあえ
the
ずこうなるよね
slows down
ボロが帰ってくるからね残り
29
30秒
seconds. Fnatic still applying pressure towards the B-bomb site with Util, but they're running back towards A now.
And once again, Navi playing
そう
outside the
人
bomb
数
site.
的にはこれ
both
でい
on
いけど
ramp
ワンダ
side.
フルがアップ見てますよ
Oh, here's wonderful. It's going to be a
はい一人
dry
持って
peek
かれた
right towards the sniper. He hasn't left his position.
はい
The
返
rifle
し
of
た
Ima expected to get a kill.
今ワンダフルだけ
Absolutely
行くなら今
to get some impact, but wonderful. Moving through the smoke, getting ready for this play up short. Oh,
えい二人持ってかれた
Wonderful gets that one bullet, 2 kills.
Ah.
Fnatic fall to just 2 players, and they're very low on health. Alexi B coming back in from middle. Only 1 flash left. That's the only PC utility Navi have to go for this retake. And Crims is in a powerful position being in the apartments this late in the round.
I think he's got to go for something a little crazy. I feel like that boiler flank would be such a badass play with this kind of HP, but slow paced. And there goes now Crims stuck up in halls. Once they clear pit, they're going to know exactly where he is.
どこゲッチすんだお前ら
Time ticking. Not on that.
Ah.
Clear out Crims off the balcony. Fnatic get a close round again.
どんな試合や
Coming out on top.
That double kill from Wonderful saves the day.
What a snap.
I wonder if anyone on the team though is noticing
これ
this.
が
This is the
チーム
second
の
time
自
they've
力
gone
か
to the A bomb
自
site.
力
Actually, probably not, because the first time that Navi played outside the bomb site, they actually were able to
自力の差で
shift
すね
into
これ
the
は
site
ね
itself at like the perfect moment. But they're playing really lackadaisical in terms of defense inside pit, inside the bomb site
砂場
throughout
入
the
ってき
round.
よ
A
砂
lot
場
of it
お
is
と
on
なし
ramp
く
side initially. This one, Fnatic come back for that change-up away from the B bomb site back towards A. They've got 1 smoke. They don't use it
まあ
for
それが
left
勝
mid.
て
They
るチ
use
ーム
it
と
for
かしない
small
チー
pit.
ムのそうってやつですか
Able
ね
to get one kill is wonderful on that. The second tactical pause for
フナティッ
Fnatic.
クの視点を見てると死んじゃいけない週が見れるよね
バナナとピーチ取ったらあとはセットラッシュだけみたいな。
まあそれでもいいんだけどな
Fnatic just
全
gonna
然
go
そうい
for
う
a
タイプは
half
なる
bar
け
here
ど
to leave as much cash left over as
本にいら
possible.
ないのも謎。
はい時間かけすぎてもう選択肢がだんだんなくなってくんだよなナビ全然動かないじゃんナビこうやって守ってるの知ってるのに
Gonna
さ
start running up towards top banana. Body at
我
the
慢
front.
比べをするなよ
That grenade lands
あい
perfectly
たたたたたたた
between
あい
players.
た
He's
た
gonna
た
try
た
and
た
get
た
around
た
that
た
corner at half wall. Doesn't go too well for
痛
body.
す
Loses
ぎ
a lot of health. At least he's still standing though.
時間使ってるけど時間だけ使ってる。
そうなんだよね。
Wonderful. Oh, nice shot.
いいとこ見てるね、ワンダフル君
Man is
は。
caught.
Should be an indication of what's to come as well. Hull's pop.
Maybe
They're
it's
just going to try and force the issue.
そう
Nice
そうそう
flash
そう
though.
一気に
Yeah,
一
great
気に
flash.
一気に。
Now winning out
あ
under the
あ
darkness of the porch. A nice shot from
Nice, nice, nice.
Wonderful. Wasn't ready for Crims to be below his crossover. His teammate should deal with that threat. Now it's just body left alone and short. Somehow gets away with that, despite being low in HP. There should be no other steps
Lucky.
available for body in
武
this
器消
round.
費され
Yeah,
た
I。think that grenade even blew away any rifle he might even be thinking about picking up. Regardless, he's just hoping for a kill at this point. He's hoping to catch Alexi B on the flank, snoozing a little bit, but Alexi's like, nah, I'm too smart for that. He's staying all the way back at T-ramp. So 7-2.
Yeah. Would you say Fnatic are the favorites going into this major cycle? Oh, not Fnatic. Navi.
Okay.
that would have been easy.
I was like,
to answer,
yeah,
wouldn't
I
it?
was like, no, I would not say that.
Would you say that, Jason? No, Navi, obviously.
You know, I don't actually think there's a clear favorite into the major in terms of winning the whole thing. I think the most you could say about Navi is that
プロパ
at
テ
the
ィで
moment
カメ
with the
ラの明るさいじ
results,
れたっけな。
it feels like they're the best team in the world and the team you can probably count on to deliver on that
色
result
空間。
more than any other squad. I think G2 on some level is number 1, I think, in the Valve rankings right now, if I recall correctly.
The Valve ranking doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me sometimes, to be honest.
Yeah, if G2 is number 1 on the Valve ranking, Navi is number 2 on the HLTV rankings, Navi's number 1, G2's number 2, so wherever you go with that, but even if you want to say G2 is the best team in the world, I don't think you can be a whole lot of, I don't think you can have a whole lot of confidence in their ability to be consistent.
No.
We haven't seen that throughout the year, throughout really the history of G2. We know if they hit their peak, hit their best game, yeah, they can be the best team in the world, they can take on anyone.
Yeah, いや、色補正してる俺の画面もゲーミングモニターだから。
Wonderful. Starting to move off the site. Thinking about getting this crosshair here onto the boiler angle. Just got around that corner now. Wonderful, just taking space, making sure they haven't pushed into top mid. That allows his rifler
これぐらいでいいだ
him
ろ
to feel
明るくなった
confident
ろ
to walk out and peek long.
多少はな。
Fnatic posturing into what is going to be an A blight. And it's Wonderful to strike first on top mid again. Another dry peek from Madish right into Wonderful. He'll collect that, move back into the bomb site. And because of these kills from Wonderful, Navi are constantly up a player. And Fnatic having to deal with very difficult rounds in front of them.
Ooh, good break of the smoke. Body's ready for the fight. Takes down Ima. Now can
Go, go,
apply
go,
some
go, go, go,
pressure.
go.
And that's going to force Bit to step up in lane to go clear
もう
brackets
20秒
as
しかない
Wonderful
ぜ。
plays very passively. And Bit's
あ、
getting all the
音聞いて
information.
た、バナナ。寄った音。JL が音聞いてました。ボディさん、ハサミがバレてしまいましたが。
They might think it's clear. They might think it's clear because of JL.
Blamef looks like he's going to be checking new box, but it doesn't matter because he still steps up with a headshot here, Alexi. He swings into the open. His teammates have arrived, but JL also going down. This quick flank from Bit. Are they ready for how quick he is? No. There was grenades in hand for Crims, and now it's all on Knock. And he's had a quiet map so far, but this would be one hell of a time to step up.
Bait Wonderful.
そこ
Send Wonderful
ガ
in
チャ回す
first.
しかねえ
Low
か。
HP.
よし
Shot in and
よし
steps up with the 1v2. A huge
ASRock ガチャ
round
当たった。
after such a quiet first half performance.
Yeah, massive from Knock. That's a big boy win to keep Fnatic swinging in this fight. I mean, that had to be a victory,
Yes,
or else
yes,
they're
yes,
just going to
yes.
get buried. Trading their way in. Good round from Body to open things up. Better round from Knock to
めちゃ
close
く
things
ちゃ危ねえ
out.
試合だろ。
And Bit just could not land that final kill. Beautiful clutch. And Fnatic have a chance to come back in this. I talked about Fnatic having to win those impact rounds, those swing rounds. This is another one right here because the money of Navi is real rough after this kind of a buy. Now, they do have a full set. They do have an AWP. They do have plenty of utility, so it's not going to be easy. But you win this round if you're Fnatic, and you got to be thinking we're at 5, and that's not a bad T-half.
Good to have your AWPer step up in that situation with the rifle. He'll have to continue with the rifle. on this T side. Not enough money to get it out on him, but
I think he's only had that op 2 rounds, right?
Yeah.
Knock on the T. Well, I mean, not the biggest deal. We see operas frequently on Inferno choosing to go with the AK-47, but his isn't out of choice. His is just out of the fact that he hasn't had money.
yeah, doesn't have enough for it. Very heavy setup towards the B bomb side to start the round here for Na'Vi.
Yeah, which really can be confusing if you're Fnatic on the T side. If you're trying to count utility, but Na'Vi's starting 4 at the B bomb site, you're going to be miscounting something, not realizing how much utility they actually have after the initial salvo. And this time a more standard defense at the A bomb site. You've got Bit over and Pit. And a late take of Banana forces out some utility from Fnatic. Not a whole lot of damage onto BlameF, but resources ripped out of his hands as he's got to extinguish the Molotov. No flashbangs for Fnatic, which kind of sucks when you consider how much they've been picked off by the AWP of Wonderful. And that Molotov as well, negating the truck smoke for a Hulls pop. So they're just going to try and improvise a mid to B split. They've got to get through Alexi.
Mattis cuts off Ima. Still yet to test Alexi, but here it comes. Oh, they
Kura,
jump
kura,
on
kura, kura.
Alexi
危ない危ない危ない危ない。
for the second player. And now they go to the B bomb site where it's just JL. They realize that Alexi is the B player, and now JL does not get anything despite
いい
having
よ、流れを
such
掴ん
a
できたぞ
hot。game. So Fnatic, you mentioned this is
ちょっ
one
と
of those
遅い
swing
かも
rounds.
し
They
れない
have an
が、まあいい
opportunity
で
to
しょう。
break the money of Na'Vi towards the end of the half.
この AK キン
They
キラ
picked it up.
AK だ
So
よ。
4 rounds secured for Fnatic and a
ええ
great
な、
chance to
叫
try
ん
and
だ、
grab
市場に
5.
出
I
回っ
think
て
Ima
ね。
lost his head there a little bit, kind of wandering out over towards library, a little lackadaisical, not expecting the rap side play from Fnatic. And really well done with low utility, finding a way to crack in.
いくらフナティックファンをやめたと言ってもね、フナティック、ステッカー欲しいからね。コレクターとして。
Lexi's got some money to get an SMG behind it as well. But Fnatic have a chance to recover in a half that very easily could have spiraled out of control. They've stuck with it.
Yeah, it would be pretty frustrating for JL, who would have expected himself to at least get something out of that B defense as the solo player.
悲しみ。
I think you go into that flash though, knowing like I need to create a miracle in that sort of a situation. Would have liked to, I mean, at least one wanted to connect with and see what you get after the fact, but it was always going to be tough for JL to save that round. If he doesn't get like 3 there, it's really probably a lost round regardless.
BlameF taking a hit from the utility, but getting dropped by the MP9 of JL, who continues to go around the corner and loses life eventually to body. So 1 for 1 for JL. Lexi P, oh, gets him behind the sandbags. Here they come, swings into the open. Mattis, what a double kill. He got both of the B defenders, opens it right up for Fnatic. Crimson Boiler, no problem against Bit. And what a recovery to this half from Fnatic towards the end.
Yeah, and I think, you know, if you're Blade, you're probably not going to be too pleased with what you've seen out of these last 2 rounds for Na'Vi. This half started out really well, but I think a little disorganized, a little Na'Vi players getting caught in unexpected fights. I think Blade's looking at that and being like, this was a real sloppy end of the half, especially these final 2 rounds. So Fnatic get as close as they possibly can. A 2-round lead for Na'Vi going into the second half. And we'll see what Fnatic can do on the defensive stand.
Wonderful. Gets dropped at the end. 5 rounds secured in the end for Fnatic.
ここからだ。
Yeah, it was such a great start to the half from Na'Vi, and fortunately for Fnatic, they're still in this. Pissed around can make a difference. Tie it up real quick.
今回のモニター、BenQのモニターじゃないってんだよね。なんか AOG だっけな。確かね、出てたよね。
So we'll keep an eye
モニターがいつ
on
ものモニターじゃないみたいな。
Na'Vi can get a bomb plan in this pistol at a minimum.
I think Kita asking how long they have in the halftime break.
確かね。
Get a little chat with his boys. Coach is allowed to speak during warm-up before the game, during halftime, and
AOG だっけな。なんかね、違うメーカー、いつものじゃないメーカーのモニター使って
Those
たん
are
だよ
all,
ね。
you know, I haven't gotten confirmation on what the rules exactly are in the bathroom breaks.
Yeah, we've seen a few.
プリムズマーチさん使ってる。
Kita obviously being the coach of BlameF during his complexity.
ゼロだな。
that you were mentioning earlier. So that's
プリムズマーチさんゼロ使ってますこれ。
Yeah, I think Kita's a good.
ああ、パソコン変えたから日本語入力俺の CS プレイヤー時点が全部消えてる。だるすぎ。入れ直しやんけ。
Such a legendary organization within the scene. One of the oldest organizations we have in Counter-Strike. Pistol round of the second half. Decent amount of utility spread across the Fnatic side. Two nades,
Fnatic なかなかオフライン大会出てこないから、これ写真がないんだよな。映像の証拠が、使ってる証拠が。
And the Molotov utilized, and the HE grenades. Not bad on JL, but that's a lot of resources that don't give you a whole lot of success. I think Navi's counting that utility like, hell yeah, we'll take that.
Passive setup towards the library for body. That means Navi have a decent amount of space to play with around short, but there is this problem. If Bit goes into the apartments, there's 2 players around that corner, and he gets annihilated instantly. So they're going to change up their position straight away. At least he gets information there was 2 players in the apartments.
Yeah, but that kill happened so fast that Navi can't really take advantage of it. You'd think if he got that H to live, they'd probably kind of start hustling up lane to a certain extent, or at least kind of punish the fallback. Not possible at the moment. Molotov in towards Crim's position at the broken wall. Oh, beautiful.
Yeah, burns away eventually with assisted damage from Ima. Stepping up with his long play, though. He's taking body out of the site, silences him in the library, but it's knocking the bomb site that is still finding impact. Actually ripped off the top of the box. So 2v2, that mid play coming up straight away from Mattis. He's quick to short.
Yeah, but Ima's got position in pit now. That's a good reposition, a good relocation. Inside the bomb site. The timing of this, though, could catch them off guard. So JL slides into a safe spot behind the missile box.
Ima just waiting in the pit, though. Waiting for his time to strike, playing off JL's contact. They know they have to worry about the pit, but dealing with him, proves rather easy in the end. As soon as JL turns to fight him, Playmac is out the other side. So Fnatic do like the pistol round. Navi got the bomb plant though, so we'll see that force buy in the next round. But Fnatic with the first step in the right direction here with the second half.
Yeah, both pistols for Fnatic in this map. If they can convert this second one, that's going to be absolutely magnificent. Weren't able to do it in the first half, but some good shooting with these USPs. Knock and Crims both grabbing kills with their first bullet, with their first shot. And even though Navi crack in, they can only get the plant, but they can't hold off the retake. That extra bonus money is going to help out Galil on Ima. Couple of Mac 10s, couple of Tech 9s.
A very potent option here for Navi to use. Fnatic are going to be very aware of this possibility.
Looks like they want to go fast. They're gonna, they're hustling through this. Okay, no slowing down. Not M4 in hand. He's got the first.
Well, he takes the sting out of the first portion of the attack, but immediately gets traded out by Ima. Great work from Mattis. He's going to reposition out to library. Smoke comes up. He goes right through it. Can he get a like CP? He can. The wonderful quick on the trade back with that Mac 10. And once again, 2v2, but bomb's still down. And Bit needs another fight. Body just walks right through the archway.
I feel like it's so hard to be patient in this scenario if you're Fnatic. I don't know. It looks silly, but I almost can't blame him because you're feeling like the pressure is coming in so fast. You're smoked off. You have no information.
2ヶ月間ぐらいちょっとマジで睡眠不足ってのもあって睡眠不足とストレスによる脳破壊によってこれ脳が壊れたのかと思ったマジでしばらく1ヶ月ぐらい配信してなかったでしょとんでもない状況だった 人間やめますかみたいなだいぶ元に戻ってきたけど
Just look at the scoreboard for Navi as well. 12 kills on Bit, Ima, and JL, 13 on Wonderful. Everyone playing solid. Nobody lights out. Just everyone doing their job. And the third and final timeout burned early for Fnatic in the second half. So Last chance, Kita will have to have a say in what Fnatic's running, unless Blade wants to call a timeout later on and give him a reprieve. But Fnatic have no ability to stop things and discuss the situation.
We got that one saved M4 for BlameF. A lot of players run double eco territory, so force buy coming around this M4. Yeah, and just kind of figure out how you want to position your pieces here. Don't think Fnatic are one of the teams many would consider an expected team to make it out of the EU RMR, considering how many good teams are in here.
No, it doesn't feel like it. But
Let's
I mean,
go.
there's always a puncher's chance, right? Especially with some of the players that they have. Although we're not seeing those individuals pop off at the moment. And certainly in the best of ones, this is where you look at Fnatic and say, if you want to have a chance at qualifying, if you want to be in some of those late games, you need to be able to take away a best of one against some of these teams. You need to be able to win one of these. So NaVi was always going to be a hard opponent for them. We could see who they draw in the next round. Everyone playing 2 best of ones today, so have a clearer picture of where things are going to lie after the fact.
Yeah, you'd like it to be a winning best of one, certainly.
Sure. Better than losing.
Wonderful. Alexi. And JL. Ready to go around this corner at B. Smokes and flashes B side, body on second oranges. And that smoke comes in. That will slow things down. And force, well, not the
まあ、ここまでは取るじゃん。
go back down
こ
banana.
こまで
I
は
don't
ね
think、
セオリ
Navi's
ー通
going
り
to
バ
give
ナナ
off
もね、
that
取っ
anyways. I
て
think。they wanted to put a smoke down towards CT and maybe have 2 players just kind of peek into that B bomb site, take a couple duels, take a couple jiggles, see what they could find. So they're okay with
プロは
this.
さ、
The
ここまで
Fnatic
出
seem
て
ready
こな
for
いじゃ
that
ん。
too. They've got
相
4
手
players in the A
さ、
bomb side at the moment.
フナティック側
Navi still have
武
the
器もあれ
option
だ
to
し
fall
ね。
back. Like
だから
by the
こう
time
こういう
by
取
the
り返
time
しの
they
仕方
get
ができる。
control of brackets, which they have, the
プ
smoke
レ
is
ミア
already
とか
cleared at
マ
the
ッ
B
チメイ
bomb
キングで
site.
これや
So
るとさ、
JL's
ほ
calling
ぼめ
that
ちゃくちゃ
out.
攻めて
They
く
can
る。
actually fall back to the B site if they choose.
キャットやまで、
25
まあ俺も
seconds
攻めるんだ
left.
け
That
ど。
option is disappeared at this point as the clock is low and JL's given up the banana position. So wrap around the bomb site, use the range of the rifles. BlameF and Pit, and time is an issue.
BlameF could step up with his rifle and get Fnatic a must-win round. And this
That's
Eagle
crazy.
inside the site. Prince goes down. Imma. Oh, a double on the
Oh.
goal. Big comes through
Oh
with
my
a double in
God.
the zone. And just like that, any hopes and dreams of Fnatic winning this force buy round just fall away.
That setup seemed so strong, but I think there's miscommunication.
Hey,
Like,
show cut some-
you have 4 players at the bomb site and nobody's watching Rap side. BlameF gets that first kill and tucks himself down. He wants someone else, one of his other teammates, to take the next contact as Navi come wrapping around so that he can re-peek, so that he's not getting pre-aimed and pre-fire on the wrap. But everyone's really concerned about lane, about hulls. And nobody had eyes on it, so Navi able to find, with 15 seconds, able to find so much space. If Navi's able to just kind of fight that, instead of like being
こ
hunkered down
こ
and just
取
getting shot in
ら
the
れ
back,
て10の
they might
6
even be
で
able to delay
次
Navi
結
long enough to
構
win
ガ
that
チめの
round.
ファイトして勝ってそのまま
A good job putting themselves in a winning
That's being
situation,
shorty,
just not able to convert it.
Well, this flash primed and ready to unleash the USPs upon Navi's attack into the bomb site.
さあタイミング
Gotta give it a go, but should get melted. Actually, USP's done pretty well there. Second kill in for Chris to the smoke.
おいい
A
ぞ
lot of resistance
でも
being
やばい
put up by these default pistols, but eventually JL's had enough.
あー巻き込まれる
Brings the big gun to the party and ends any fun that Fnatic were having. But a lot of damage done, and Wonderful's also very low, so another kill could be set up on the USPs if given the chance.
Smoke break, bomb plant's gonna go down. 10-6, Navi's gonna get to double digits. Looking good as BlameF slides back around, wanting to go towards T-ramp. He's gonna look for some exit kills on the evacuation body. Not a high chance of grabbing a kill, but some damage would be nice if he forces JL to have to be desperate with the bomb explosion coming up. That would be lovely.
ああボディを犠牲にしてプレメファー
Trying to funnel them towards Banana,
Banana
towards
側で
his
キル取れる
teammate
の
with
か
the 5-7. And there's Bit very low. Got to be
ある
concerned
か
about the bomb blast.
来た
Oh,
ぞ
look
バ
at
ナナ
BlameF. He's
来た来た
he's
来た来た
so
来た
passive.
来たぞ来たぞうわーミッドに行ってしまった来た来た来た来た来たいけよ
And
し
it
よしよ
works. He
し
gets a kill,
嫌な
Jason,
気持ち
and
になっ
that's
たな
where you get
those big kill games.
武器入れない
He's got
入れた
AK.
よしよしよし
Huge
武器回収成
deploy
功
from BlameF at the end.
That's absolutely lovely.
これで OK
That's because I mean,
さあここだ
you have to think priority number
勝負
one
ど
for
ころ
Fnatic on
今日の
defense.
勝負
You
どこ
want
ろ
to get that AWP out in Nox hands. You want that AWP to have some impact, like we saw from Wonderful in the first half. Grab a pick here and there, a couple rounds, just get you a first kill to make things a little bit easier. And that AK-47 is going to give BlameF some money to drop things over to support a buy in the and sustain some kind of a loss if they have to.
何人出るってつけていい
But Fnatic got to get started in this gun round,
18時50分の電車だから
or else Navi starts looking like they're way too far ahead.
18時半
Hasn't
には出
been
ればい
the
いの
cleanest
で
game in the world from Navi, not the sharpest game we've
Alexa,
ever seen out of them, but you could see the disparity
17
from the
時
two teams
50
that
分
say,
に
yeah,
タイ
this
マー
is
かけ
maybe
て
like Navi's B- game,
午後5時
and still
50
having
分
a
に
solid
ア
lead
ラ
and
ー
still
ムが
looking
設
like they're
定
in
しまし
complete
た
はいそう
control.
偉い
How many times did we say that in Rio as well? A tournament they ended up winning. You know, they didn't come into that event with the right level at all, so we know that their
It's all about
floor is quite high.
it's all about peaking at the right moment.
Yeah.
Hear all those teams talk about it. You're on a long grind throughout the year and looking at the major cycle. You can't be in a grind mindset for 365 days.
True.
You're going to have to take some events a little bit lighter than others. And you want to schedule it coming into the major of this is where we grind for these 2-3 weeks leading into the biggest event.
Oh, wonderful. Nearly getting taken down by Knock, but sharp shot rings out for Navi. They've got a 5v4.
I think he's getting nervous. The whole map's quiet. Everyone from Fnatic is like, we don't know what's happening. And everyone takes their peek to figure it out. And the first two go the wrong way.
Well,
5 on 3.
Yeah, Mattis is stuck now as the only player on this A-bomb site. He has to step up with a huge round and not going to happen. He gets taken out by Imma on the bomb site. BlameF on the other side of the map. Nothing he can do here. So, save that AK.
なすすべもなく破壊されてった
Starting to get to the end of Inferno.
ほぼ誰も弾撃ってない
Cohesion on any of these fights, and you know, you
王
get
者の
hit
攻め
on
方され
knock,
てしまっ
there's no
た
chance for rebuttal. There's no one who could have helped him in that fight. You get the swing at a banana. Nobody there to help. Nobody there to trade that kill. It's just a one-on-one fight that JL wins. Then you get Mattis obviously peeking halls again.
これだと俺
One-on-one
顔
fight,
黄色い
nobody
だいぶ
there to
黄色
help.
いな
That defense with the quiet
色
on the
味が
map and the silence, they couldn't organize any kind of a play to double up at the point of attack. And Navi on this T side in complete control, even going to take this AK-47 away from BlameF.
はい。
ああああはいこんばんは
No mercy.
And
Not a lot of money.
I
for
pointed
Fnatic either.
I pointed it out when 4 players
Yeah,
were like
what's up,
12 and
bro?
13 kills. It's been a couple rounds since then, and now they're all at 15, 16. Everyone's just keeping up with each other. Beautiful shot from Wonderful. Nice and easy for JL. There's the peek from Crims. And everything's a one-on-one fight, and Navi will take that every day of the week.
これが1位のチームと
Twitter の画像を見てびっくりしてました。
You
Twitter
combined a
画像
couple of things.
Yeah.
It worked.
久しぶりにカジュアルでもやってき
3MP
ま
nice.
した。
Let's see if
カ
this
ジ
works
ュア
out
ル
for Fnatic.
あと
With the $1,000 average
Yeah.
on most players. Knock a little bit extra, obviously being the AWPer, so he's only got a
カジュアル
P250. Look
Yeah,
at this
but-
one last good go.
I was going to say that op's coming out at 6 to 12. It's not
この前のアッ
ideal.
プデートでねアームバトルパスみたいな
They
やつが
come. Oh, that's one way to
追
use
加
the
されて
MP9.
今みん
Jumping
なバ
on
トル
the
パス
half wall
稼
with a
ぎしてるん
distraction
ですよ
setup from
ね
your teammate around the back
で
of
バ
the
トル
car.
パ
So
ス
one for one.
稼ぎのポイント集めるために
Can't
カジュアルとかで
Prone to the approach out of the
すぎる
apartments.
草みたい
Imma
な画像
about
です
to
わら
attack。into his BlameF.
Yeah, JL
Uh,
heard
generator
at,
に作
at least
作れ
3
たら作っ
people,
ちゃっ
so it gave some confidence for Ima and Bit to be aggressive in halls and at least get that positioning.
ポイント稼ぎ
No utility
カ
for
ジュアルは
Fnatic.
そも
This is
そ
going to
も
all
死
have
ん
to
で
be
る
heads
プ
up
レイヤー
fights.
しかいないから大丈夫。
And once
大丈
again,
夫
quiet on the map from
結構
Navi.
荒れて
They're
る
themselves not applying any pressure,
もう治った
whether
の
with
かな
personnel
公
or
式デスマッチは
nades.
特に
Just
それ
now,
以
a
上
smoke
にやばい
coming out,
業者しかいないなので今みんな普通の
giving them some clearance from library as
ユ
a
ーザー
couple
が作っ
players
たコミュニティ
probe
サーバー
outside.
デスマッ
That's
チしたと
Alexi,
思
and
う
he's got the bomb.
あちなみに今
Just
そう
gonna be eager to trade in
そう
case Bit took any kind
みん
of
な
a
上海で今
attack.
これ
And
大
they
会や
won't
ってるか
show it.
ら
They're gonna attack
中国の
Rapside.
サーバーに行く
Back
と
towards lane
プロが
we
デ
go,
スマッ
and
チや
it's
ってる
all
かもしれない
BlameF with the single rifle.
ナウくんなんで船に。
レンタル移籍してきた
25 seconds. Here they come around the corner. BlameF's got the first target, but
今
Big,
URL
he is
貼っとく
so
ので
sharp, so sharp with those headshots. But there's still Fnatic ahead on players thanks to that kill
Oh.
from Crims. But Wonderful and Alexi B
Looking to close this out for 12 rounds on the board.
ここ行くと、
That clear line of sight, he might actually throw it
あ
towards
の
okay.
サーバー一覧出てくると思うんで、それで多分上の方にある、なんかサーバー、アメリカじゃなくて、アメリカも入ってるか。ちょっと待って、これが悪かった。ワンダフルがこれ変えちゃう。ああ危ねえ危ねえワンダフルのガキに破壊されるとこだぜ。アジア。アジアに入れると中国出てこないんだっけ？出てくると思うけどな。なんかね、メジャーサーバーみたいなのがあって、チャイナ。
And going down to one player means the buy in this round isn't going to be anything
香
crazy.
港
Although they
は
did
ね
save some money, but the op over in Nox hands is the big piece of the puzzle. Because Fnatic still have a chance to steal this map away. As desperate as it might be, as out of reach as it might seem, now with the op in Nox hands, you can have a little bit more confidence about this. Let's see what they can do with it. 3-man start towards Banana.
中国はやっ
Not
ぱ
going
り
to take his op
PG
to
プ
the
ロ
A
です
bomb
ね。
site.
そうここら辺のサーバー行くと、
And finally,
ワンチャン
with
プロ
that
がいるかもし
victory,
れない。
the economy settles down for Fnatic. But not
ピン
the
グ
only
60ぐらいの
kills.
サーバー。って話をしてたらもう死んだけど、
Puts
ボ
him
デ
on
ィ
the
が。
back foot early. Not
こ
only
い
a
つバナ
manpower,
ナで死んだ
but
ろ。
BlameF is forced
俺
to
バナナ
bring
で死んでるじゃ
the
ないか。
smoke. Him and
スピードになっちゃう。
Trims were actually backing off the B bomb site as Body got aggressive towards sandbags on his own.
ボディ君もしかして自分が狙われてることに気がついていないのでは？ボディ B いるから B まず殺そうだよ。狙われてるの気づいていないのよ、こいつ。
You don't have to pull the trigger on this execute, but just a little bit of utility is going to force out a Molotov, force out another smoke, and start setting yourself up for the late round where there's plenty of options. Good kill from Bit, good reaction, sees the elbow sticking out before the hit. They're actually going to come right through the smoke, completely disrespected.
筋肉エイムでマッスルエイムでどんどんなるかこれ。うわ、いいダブルピーク。おしまいだ。あんなにサクッと死なれたらどうしたらいいの？
Yeah, it might be a world in which Navi just said, you know what,
ミラー
Nox
ジュ
got the
の
AWP
サーバー
and
リ
he's
スト
not here at
の
the B bomb site, so let's just rock and roll. Let's just get through this. No reason to fall back and go to the
や
A
って
site
るや
where
つは
we
多分
haven't
プロが
feared
い
a
る
whole
マップだ
lot
と思うんだよね。
and have to contend with
あ
the
上海メジャー
AWP.
とか書いてあるんで、下の
It's
方に。
nice that they get out
デ
the
スマッチ
weapon
の名前に。
ASAP, but not even didn't even see anyone in
TG
this
プロ
round.
DM FFA 上海メジャーとか。そこら辺にいるかもしれない。でも今みんな試合中だから、そろそろ。ボット、デスマッチやつ
In
に
the
ボット打ちしてるかも。
Americas Armor, we did see immediately in the opening games some upsets. We watched.
だからちょうどみんな試合が終わった後ぐらいとか。
We watched Legacy beat Fury.
調整時間とか。とか朝とか行く
for
と。
now in the European one, at least in our stream, Jason.
Yeah, I haven't even looked at the other one.
今日とか明日が一番多分一人いると思うよ。
Five
ヨーロッ
chances
パ
for
チームみん
Navi
な
to
来てる
close
から
out。this map. Go 1-0 in this Swiss to start their major campaign over in Shanghai.
はい。
It's a tie game over there between Gamer Legion and Vitality.
I like that. I like that Gamer Legion's giving them a run for their money.
Sticking with the 5 rifles for Navi.
さっき何で強いの ?13
Molotov up towards top banana.
14、15、
A sea of flames.
19、20。
Coat banana
Okay.
itself. Grenades should land on top of Bit. Yeah, that's going to be quite heavy. Now Ima just descending down out of the bedroom. Navi with a slower pace round in comparison to the previous.
It's been this whole half, really, outside of a faster paced round with Tech 9s and Mac 10s, and it's worked wonders. Fnatic just it feels like they're always kind of wondering where Navi's moving because it's so quiet on the map. I think Bit even spotted the trajectory of that smoke and
いいと
Molotov.
こに
He
いない
said
ね、今。
Crim's is up
俺
on
だって出
Bout.
ちゃうけど、投げ物来た瞬間。
Or someone's up on Bout.
バーンスと思って。偉い。
Two players in the apartments for Navi, 2 through top mid already. And JL just watching banana.
いいね、スモーク
No,
2個
JL
目。
no longer watching banana.
ノーク
That shot
JL
from
ぶっ
Knock
殺し
brings
ていい
out.
ぞ。
This is really
戻
good
って
for
こい。
Fnatic. The
永遠
constant
に戻ってこい。
respawn over in home
走
is
れ。
making Navi really like I think they wanted to pull the trigger before that second smoke came out. It bought time for
JL
Knock
はラーカだ。
and BlameF to get aggressive and Banana to find an opening kill. Now it's on this hit.
Navi wrapping around long. Blame F now arriving at library. The fight's going down inside the bomb site, but it's all Blame F from the library. Silence is two.
よしよしよしよしよし。
Site's still alive, and he
行
drops
くぞ、オーバータイムに。こらこらこらこらこらこら。
It's a
ノー
great
タイム、ノー
shot
タイ
with
ム。
9 seconds left. We need to start planting real soon. And he gets into the bomb site, but with no bomb on his back. And that is the problem here. He will concede. An 8th round for Fnatic stepped up. And so great work just delaying that hit from Navi
まず
over
OK。
and over with utility.
首の皮を一枚つないでいけ。
There's two players from Navi and Halls and two players looking like they want to come up lane, and you could see nobody from Navi actually goes down in Halls. They all had to reposition. They had to improvise plan B in the moment when that second smoke comes in. Really nicely done from Fnatic, rotating the utility
ルー睡眠
appropriately.
薬を飲んだからめっちゃあれだな。
But Navi's all right.
公
Plenty
開
of
時間長い
chances
な。
still. Blade's going to have a little chit chat. This timeout gives Kita
良い
the
ってい
time
う
to
か
be involved as Fnatic is out
量
of
を多めに飲んで
timeouts.
ちゃんと寝れるように。
Two organizations that have had great history at major tournaments and in Counter-Strike. Fnatic all at the start of sort of CSGO, certainly not in the same position towards the end of CSGO, and definitely not at the start of CS2 here, Jason, but it's a new expectations that we've learned to have for Fnatic.
Sure, and both organizations have a deep history in Counter-Strike, dating all the way back to Counter-Strike 1.6 as well.
負けらんない
Organizations are
ぜ。
like, I think Fnatic's almost like 20
そん
years
な
old,
そんな
18
とこで
years
ガン見
old.
してていいのか？
Navi's like 15, 16 years old.
熱いぜ。
They'd be going to
いいのか、
college
それ
Be
で。
older than that.
probably.
さっきは勝ったけどよ。相手は JL だぜ。
Not in your country.
True.
Slow for Navi again. We're hitting that 1 minute mark. Alexi about to be thrown through the smoke with a flash behind him. Ima will get the trade.
イエイジよしよしよしよしよし。
So
あーりゃりゃー。
come out of the apartments at the right
あ
time.
り
He's
ゃ
worked
り
out
ゃ
very
ー。
well in terms of removing Cribs.
厳しい。
Yeah, but look at how hold the phone, smoke break. It's so perfect from Navi that they're able to gain so much space in different parts of the map that even though those opening exchanges aren't like dominant for Navi, there's always a player in position to respond. That hop out of holes from Bit once the trade comes in is perfect, and Fnatic have to have this retake.
Navi moments away from confirming themselves their first victory here at the Armars, but Body comes through the graveyard.
スモークがある。スモークがある。
Bit in the ground.
おっ
Steps out with a great headshot. It's all on JL to close it, and he certainly will not. Big kill from Blame F again.
お
Another
ーエンター
retake
テイン
from
メントだこ
Fnatic.
れ。
They are
やっ
not
ぱ
giving
フナ
up
テ
in
ィッ
this
クを応援
opening
してると
game.
脳が焼かれる
Nine
ぜ。
rounds picked up. Navi don't have all
いい意
the
味で
cash
も
for
悪
a
い意
few
味
of
で
these
も。
players. And Fnatic are looking at a possibility of 10 rounds here, Jason.
Yeah, I mean, a bomb set that's
心臓
usually
が止ま
very,
ったり
very
動いたり
difficult
す
to
る。
retake, and Fnatic make it look very nice. A little bit of utility, a smoke that makes
俺の
the
心拍数
awkward
が。
fights from halls. You could tell Navi in the post plant and the 3-on-3, nobody able to get into the bomb site after the plant. Nobody stuck in. Really trying to sell the second player up in halls, but they needed at least one kill from that first player. Setting J up
一番されてます。
up to
こ
be
の
the
前
big
ティ
time
ッチさんにごめんなさいしたんですが、
and he
許され
couldn't
ませんで
handle
し
the
た。あと
1v2,
180 人だったら
so
また
Navi's
ごめん
gonna
なさ
have
い。
to drop
でき
down
る機会を
to
得られ
mostly
ます。
upgraded pistols, a couple of AK-47s for danger.
昼間から CS してるのは、これは上海メジャーっていう中国の上海でやるためのメジャー予選がオフラインで今上海で行われているので、今世界中のトッププレイヤーたちが、もうアメリカ予選とアジア予選は終わりましたけど、今日からヨーロッパ予選で、それのオープニングマッチです。なので13時から試合が見れます。幸せ。さっきあんだけ頑張ったラウンドが、さっきあんだけ頑張ったラウンドがテック9で破壊された。ああ、意味のないラウンドだよ、あんなのじゃあ。
But Navi maintained that same kind of opening. Quiet on the map, a little bit of utility, just gaining standard control, and this time Fnatic not ready for just the peak from Bit. 21 kills on Bit, 20 on JL.
Body will run through short, but Too many Na'Vi players ready to eradicate him. And he'll be peaked, eventually dropped by Bit. A 13-9 opening game from Na'Vi. They topple
やっぱ
Fnatic.
ナビ最高。
Fnatic put up a
やっぱ
decent
ナビだ
fight,
よな。
just not
ボ
quite
ディ
at
は
the
フランスの
level
ボ
of
ディです。
Na'Vi.
G2 とかにいた。
Yes, not quite at the level of NaVi. The scoreline did make it look a little bit closer than it actually was, guys. But I mean, obviously, I don't think NaVi were really in any danger of letting it slip away. So I'll throw over to you. I'll start with you, Dust. Your observations about that map. I mean, there were some good little individual moments from Fnatic, but I think the main players on NaVi, they came to play and they turned up.
Yeah, I mean, obviously. I mean, really stout defense in the first half didn't really allow Fnatic to get any sort of rhythm. All their rounds were kind of isolated. They couldn't really get like a firm footing in that half. You flip sides, yes, it is true Fnatic had their opportunities to make a bit of a comeback, but I think one of the great things about Na'Vi on the T
ちょっ
side
と
is
ね、
that
オープニングマッチからね、ビット君と JL の調子がすごくいいですよ、これは。ちょっとずるい。スロースターターしてほしい。しょうがない、ナビは世界今、ワールドランキング1位のチームですから。まあ、それは強いわ。
And bid on the extremities. You can get it from EMA as, you know, the main entry guy, and then obviously Alexi B can be that entry IGL that, you know, is kind of pretty, you know, common in the game nowadays. So the fact that you can kind of rely on so many different players to find openings on so many different areas of the map simultaneously allows Na'Vi to play a style where they can play spread and then they can just change their pacing whenever they want to, and they feel confident finding openings anywhere on the map at any given point in time. And that's what you really saw here on Inferno, as all the main players on this team dropped really good numbers against this Fnatic team.
Yeah, and I feel like, you know, I had to button my shirt up.
You're giving it away for free, man. You can't do that.
I know. Had to put away the gun show because, I mean, Na'Vi brought it. Like, we don't need two, you know.
That's fair.
One enough for the broadcast. That's all I'm saying.
That's
you
fair.
can charge for your stuff.
When do you invest in Wildcard, by the way?
You know, they've approached me. I won't say anything more, so expect the unexpected. But for Na'Vi, I mean, just the reactions to, I mean, the protocols to catch the reactions from Fnatic were nearly flawless in this game. Anytime they had map control and Fnatic wanted to do something, re-aggressing onto their position, everybody from Na'Vi's just ready for it. They were punishing any kind of bracket re-aggress, banana re-aggresses, any kind of retake was so difficult for Fnatic. With the exception of the last one, I feel like Na'Vi kind of played an unorthodox style in a couple of moments. You could see that there was, I'd say, the slightest amount of ring rust, something that's almost in, like, not even barely noticeable.
Yeah.
And I think the kill spread, like Dust said, is just something that it's why we give Na'Vi such a great chance going into this tournament, that even on a day where, say, Wonderful doesn't pop off, you got three other guys that are going to do that, and you could say that with practically everybody on their team.
I mean, look, Bit is quite literally, aside from maybe Nico, the most flexible rifler in the world today. You have to understand that this guy has a history of being an entry frag when he first joined this Na'Vi organization. Now he's playing extremity roles, but he's still able to have such wide impact, and that's why you're able to see him here still put up substantial numbers despite the role shift he's made over his career, and he is the bread and butter of this Na'Vi team. Like, I think for the longest time people said, yeah, Na'Vi, they're one of the best teams in the world, but they don't really have a guy that's like a top 10 player in the world or something like that. But a guy like Bit and a guy like JL are starting to.
They got a couple guys approaching that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, Bit
maybe
is
maybe you want to say top three. Like, top three, I would say, like, you don't have a Donk, a Monasi, or a Zaiwu, but Bit, JL, Wonderful, they're all competing for top 15, top 10 spots.
Exactly, but that's something that I think has been a recent shift in people's minds. I think earlier in the year, people weren't really saying that. Now, they're starting to prove it in spades that, hey, they do have three super solid fraggers, and Ema is really solid for his role, and obviously Lexi is one of the greatest IGLs we got.
Just quickly about Fnatic, obviously we were on Blame F Watch a little bit. You noticed a couple of things you said in the green room. I'm doing that thing where it's
bring it up.
Let's bring it up on the desk.
Yeah. Well, I mean, in some of the positions that Fnatic found themselves in, you can see, especially in the very beginning on the T side, that he's just kind of holding a little bit further back. And that's why one of the most interesting stats about this Fnatic team coming into this is that even though BlameF has had the highest rating for a significant portion of time while he's been on this roster, it's actually Mattis that on gun versus gun rounds has the highest ADR on the team, because BlameF still does slink away sometimes in those bigger moments.
I mean, are the BF allegations real? I've maintained that they're not for the longest time, and
I think it's map
feels
specific.
like a lazy narrative, you know?
It's map specific to me, because like on a map like Inferno, BlameF is playing Banana.
Yeah.
You are forced to take early action when you're playing that position on the T side in particular, and so he will do that. And there's a couple other maps in Fnatic's pool where he will inevitably have to take those early engagements, even though that's not classically what he's been known for, which honestly has expanded his game and made him more valuable, in my opinion. He's kind of punching above his weight on this team until they can keep building it up more and more, which they have tried doing with Knock, and Matty's is a great player. So we'll see how it pans out, but I tend to agree with you. I think that the baiting narrative is a little bit overdone.
I still feel like it's a little bit of a flirting versus harassment, because people, for whatever reason, don't love to call out Robs, and he does the same thing. It's just anytime he has the option, should he go forward or maybe weigh his options, both him and BlameF do the same thing. They wait a little bit longer, they try to assess the situation, and it's almost like they just need to upgrade their processor, because it's like it takes them a little while to say, okay, I should finally aggress, we need to create a win condition in the round, and instead they just go for self-preservation most of the time.
All right, guys. So NaVi off to a winning start. Fnatic not so much. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to have Mouse versus Nemigo. We'll see you soon.
She said she loves you, but she can't love me.
But I love you.
I won't play window anymore.
What's going on?
Play your role. 1xBet. On to the next one.
Yeah, welcome back. I love that little dude in the graphics. I love that mascot. He's great. I've got
like one of the minions from Despicable Me. That's what I want to
Copyright infringement, no problem.
You know.
It's all good. Anyway, we're about to get into Mouse versus Nemigo. We'll start by talking about Mouse. We've always had cause to talk about these guys quite a bit because they're a really, really good team.
Yes.
And they do the same thing.
Vitality game
as soon as the bright lights are on, they melt. So I don't know who wants to go first on this one. I'll toss it up. But let's talk about Mouse and their consistent failure to achieve on their promise, I think would be.
Takes the site by himself. You say NaVi, well, ZOWIE, he is born to conquer. Straight into the back of the bomb site, mate. Lovely entries there. And again, right, that's the brutal part of it. Those two frags are worth their weight in gold. You know you're going to get a match point off the back of this now in the BO1. You're opening Perfect World RMR BO1. And for Gamer Legion, it's just about holding on to what you've got. You need to keep all three of these weapons alive. The two AKs, the AWP on Slent, drag those into the next. They were starting a bit of a comeback, but now it gets even harder. You have no room for error now from this point forward.
I was like, how dare you speak of NaVi when
一応そうだね。メジャー大会クラスの大会はな、今年はなくなったんじゃないかな。あったっけかな。
He can do it with pretty much any weapon in the game to a very, very high level.
そうね。これが最後だね。で、また1月の中旬から、ブラストとか、IM カトビッチェの予選が始まってくる。予選ないのかなちょっとわかんないけど、2025年から結構大きな大会で予選の仕組みが変わって、バルブランキングからこうね、上順にピックされていくって形になったから、もしかしたらないかもしれない。そのオープン予選的なものが。ちょっと残念だけどね。ヨーロッパ勢はいい日やってんだよな。アメリカ勢は結構バーティゴとかやってたんだけどさ。EU 勢バーティゴやらないからね。この前のブラストファイナルも誰もバーティゴやってなかったでしょ。みんなバーティゴ嫌い。思うなマップ。よいしょ、覗け、もっと強気覗け。Flammers frozen the deep HE and the incendiary to buy time inside of the apartments as well. 3 nades down. Cywood eating the damage but remains alive on 28. ザイは20キルしてる。ちなみに今、左側のバイタリティも今メンバー変更の噂が、まあ、あります。フレイムズは、契約延長したんですが、まあ、ブラスト前後にも、確か配信かツイッターでやってないか、配信で言ったかもしれないですけど、このスピンクスってやつが、まあ、ちょっと明治をキックしてくれと。明治をキックしてくれって言ってたんだけど、チームはキックせずに、まあその大会勝ったじゃん。から棚上げ状態になって、でもまあ結構チームの仲が悪いわけじゃないけど、なんだろう。割とこう、決別路線というか、ピンクさん抜ける路線で今、交渉が進んでいると。どうですかね、そういう噂が立ってるプレイヤーを入れるかどうかちょっと不安ですけど。いい FB だね。味方のからだけど、まあいいでしょう。ああ
And the script well and truly flipped. It's up to Gamer Legion now on the retake for V4. 2 players on 2 HP though for Vitality. A straight bullet and they're dead.
いや、フナティックは払えないと思うんだよな、スピンクスの給料。でも、フナティックにスピンクス来たらめちゃくちゃおもろい。じゃあ
But now Spinks and ZOWIE with 2 HP between the two of them have got to really shine and deliver, and Spinks is doing just that with ZOWIE.
当然の結果のごとく勝った。さあ、こっからがね、初戦負け組がね、地獄なんだよ。これ、BO1 勝って、BO1 勝って、最後 BO3、3回勝てば 3-0 でトーナメント突破、予選突破ね。で、1回負けて、2回、BO1 負けて、BO1 負けて、BO3 負ける。これで 0-3 は速攻飛行場。なので、初戦負けた組はもう BO1 負けたじゃん。次 BO1 負けないようにしないとまずい。
feel a little bit more confident. I think we saw like Apex rallying the
次の
troops,
試合は
Messi
何時でし
smiling,
ょう。
ZOWIE was chill as ever. There was only going to be one winner at that point.
Yeah, I think so, man. Sort of second half of the game there, you saw how things completely changed, right?
耳
Opening moments
が
of the game, very back and forth rounds. Hell, there was a few of them the Gamer Legion could have potentially
いや
squeezed
ー、おも
out
ん
of
な
it
い
as
な。
well.
今日もう
You think
面
you
白い試合
look
終わった
around
かも
there
しれない。
winning two M4s and then just 5-7. Somehow Spinks finds all the pop-off frags at middle on the CT side. Could have been different.
あ、ちょっと配信しながら CSG を動かしていい？これまだ動かしてなかったよね。ソフトも全然機能しないし。配信しながらさ、一回ブラウザ閉じて、これ顔色が暗いか。いや、そうでもないか。暗いか。ストレスでさ、マジでさ、円形脱毛症のなりかけみたいなの発生し始めてやばいんだけど。 ハゲるかもしれん、ついに俺。今までハゲないハゲないって言ってたけど。どうなるのか。前までは配信してたら、FPS140 ぐらい。今は。お、450、350、おすげえランクオしてるな。でも、400fps で、配信できますよ、400fps で。素晴らしい。CPU 使用率 20% ぐらい。快適。これが快適ということ。うん。いいんじゃないですか？いいんじゃないですか？ちょっと、テストみますか？今、ごめん、配信、あれ、言葉切れちゃう。デスマッチサーバー行ってみますか？デスマッチサーバーもちょっと行ってみましょうか。最初は日本デスマッチサーバー行きましょう。みんなミラーでデスマッチサーバー好きだよね。400fps、480fps、素晴らしい。配信してても、俺がね、配信をせずに寝坊してた世界の目覚まし時計ね。素晴らしいですよ。500fps で、うえー。やっぱみんな PC 買おう。うん。
おすすめの AK スキン教えてください。
おすすめの AK スキンですか？僕はこのレッドラインをずっと使ってるっすけど、今、トレインがあるので、トレインでかっこいいスキンっていうのもあるんですよね。
ゲーム画面映ってないかもです。
あ、ごめんなさい。書いてませんでした。トレイン今雨で出るんで、トレインの雨で濡れてかっこいいスキンっていうのもあるんですよ。これ CT ベースすごいな。こうやって、めっちゃシャイニーじゃないですか？レッドラインですけど、まあ、それ以外だったら、あんまり CS スタッシュ、前の CS のスキン見れるサイトが、ギャンブルサイトじゃねえや、マーケットサイトに変わってしまったので、完全に。ちょっとあんまりみんなに見せたくはないけど、僕が好きなのは、 金英系。これはもう、売ってない。手に入らない。あと意外に好きなのが、黒いやつも人気。これ、人気。余計なデザインなくて。これ安い。スタートがついてても1万円以内で買える。安め。あと、これ持ってるけど、シャーザクみたいなデザインで好き。2本ぐらい持ってる。あとは、まあ、好みだよね。こういうのが好きな人もいるよね。ちょっとこう、なんだろうな。金属模様が好きな人とかね。割とミリタリータイプが好きだから、あれね、AK にあんまりないんだけど。うん。これとかメキシコのギャングが持ってそうな AK の模様。メキシコの有名なドクロマークが書かれた。これも色派手だけど、割と安め。で、CSGO から CS2 になって、ちょっとスキンの変わり方が、光り方が変わったりして、一旦ゲーム内で見るのをおすすめする。もし買うんだったらね。これもね、結構割と光るんだよね。光り方が変わる。そのものによって。なので、めっちゃ光ってる。めっちゃ光ってても FPS530 出てる。ナイフもめっちゃ光る。素晴らしい。ケースハーデントもいいけど、ケースハーデントはガチャだからね、柄がね。このお気に入りのケースハーデントを見つけるまでが難しいよね。うん。高えし。いいやつは高えし。シャー専用ザク。しばらく使ってたな。
カジュアル5分やって満足しちゃった。
まあデスマッチっすね。古き良きヘッドショーとか、ダルキエルとかなるサーバーもありますよ、今。日本に。耳壊れるかと思った、最初。あ、誕生日になったら、あれ開けます。思い出しました。僕は今月誕生日なんで、誕生日になったら、これ今300個溜まってるんで、何だか開けましょう。ケースどうしようかな。ケースもあるんだよな。ケースもある。めちゃくちゃケースある。開けてみるか。誕生日になってちょっと考えましょう。今ケースないだろう。在庫は全部箱に入れたケースにないしちゃったはず。そう。あと、チャーム、前にツイッターに書きましたけど、バナナのチャーム買って、貼り付けました。 私の大好きな57に。これいい。これは出た。箱開けし、チャーム開けたら。可愛くないから使ってない。チャームもこれ、ものによってさっきはバナナでしたけど、一応この、間違った。違う。一応アイテム、ID 上は、これだけじゃないらしいんですよ、色が。うん。なんか茶色くなった、いわゆる熟したバナナもあれば、青い熟してないバナナもあるらしいんだけど、見たことはない。とか、この AK も、金 AK とかがあるらしいんですよ。見たことないけど。さっきつけてたのこっちか。金 AK についてたの。うん。ちょっとここら辺見たことないんでね。わかんないですけど。さて試合見ますか。さて次の試合はやばいな。ちょっと薬が効きすぎてるね。マウズか。マウズにいる、今、ジャンピーハット。ジャンピーは、もしかしたら、移籍するかもっていう、G2 と確かバイタリティからオファーがあって、確かファルコンズに行くんじゃないかと言われてる。
I would be so mad. That's like a mouse flinging death to take. Like you just chuck it across the desk at that point.
And you're mad, and then you look at the kill feed and you see
he's jumping
in the air.
Yeah. No, you don't even need to look at the kill feed. You know it when that happens. You're just like, oh god. No head armor and a Mac 10 bullet just heat seeks to his brain. 4-2 for Mouse. And all that confidence, you go back to being a little bit deflated. even Brolin coming in, getting the first kill with the Tech 9, but that dink on Risky Bob as well.
True. He's Risky Bob's lucky to be alive.
Don't show it on the replay. I don't want to see it again.
I do.
Thank you.
No.
Timeout for Mouse to talk things over. And I think more than anything, it's probably just a chance for Cyclone to get involved and just say, guys, we can handle this. Even the rounds we've lost, we were in the advantage, and we let it slip away. So everyone just kind of stay calm, stay focused. We need to make sure that we're doing better on the trades. We need to make sure that we're playing smart, making good decisions. No red flags just yet for this Mouse team.
Hey, Box got a chair. Not a lot of coaches using the chair at this tournament.
Do you think the other players are like jealous? Like, why isn't he sitting behind me?
Yeah.
Like, why is he only focused on this one guy's screen?
Yeah,
like,
I would say
does my coach not care about me?
Maybe not jealous. Maybe it's a good thing. You know, it's like the teacher sitting behind you, looking over your shoulder.
That's a fair point.
I want to make sure you play well today.
There's that deep smoke, and I have to imagine this is Namiga gonna maybe be busting out some aggression later on in the half and trying to set it up. Throw that smoke out a couple of times and don't utilize it. And maybe you can shock Mouse later on in the half when you really need a swing round.
あ、そっか、メジャーもうさ、なんだろう、終わるからもう今からみんなあれか、交渉してるのか。いいのか、それって。まあいいのか。
Takes away Lear, but exertion goes down in return. So 1-for-1 to kick off this round. And you see Callan's worried about any aggressive maneuver out of Boiler at this top mid smoke. Mouse have been a problem towards this side of the map. They are not going to commit to A just yet. There's so much time left in this round, and Amiga are going to send two players into the apartments. Yimpat waiting at the bottom of the stairway. Ooh, looks about like there's about to be contact for Yimpat. Oh, two players, they line up perfectly.
Yimpact gets 2 for 1, and well, not even the one, it was just 2 for free. And now this commit up towards top middle coming in. It's risky Bob to follow it long.
Yeah, he's listening
on the other side of the map.
He's listening for the
あん
footsteps.
まりグループ予選の1試合目はそんなに強いチーム同士の試合ないの。
Just hold and cover his teammate, his
みん
in-game
な
leader as he moves up middle.
似たボ
But
ケ
yeah,
に耐え
this
ながら
one's。all about Yimpat's double. Just an awkward lineup, and Xanter doesn't even move. He's like, there's no reason for me to leave this perch. How dedicated, how thirsty is Mouse for the hunt?
Well, Mauser snatched the game back. It did feel like for a moment Namiga had some time in the
Or
sun.
had a chance to build some momentum, right? Yeah.
Whispers of opportunity silenced by Mouse.
And if you're going to cause an upset and in such a tough matchup as well, you need to build that momentum when you have that opportunity. So this one might have, I mean, it's still early going. We'll see if they can get an opportunity back. Khan still without a kill. Lear with just 1.
Yeah, it's just a lot of issues in terms of the money as well now for Namiga.
True.
Because you won those 2 rounds, you don't have any loss bonus like at max. So
最
it's 2,900 at the
近う
moment.
ちみんなで
I
MM と
think
か
if
してて
you're
も
if
さ、
you're
インフェ
if
な
you're
かなか
Namiga
勝てな
now,
くてさ。
drop some pistols over on your player that has all the cash and go for like a small buy, but you want him to keep a decent amount of money as well to drop an AWP. Start getting that op out on the board, because Torji's flexing a bit. And this is twice now Mouse have seen that deep smoke, and they've just come right through it. The first time was with Tech9s in Mac 10, so you can kind of understand the risk. Second time was Torji with an op just stepping through it.
Exertion, the grenade couldn't have been more perfect towards him. He's down to 41 HP.
昔みたいにインフェショート側でも
that
すぎる。
That is much better. Exertion sends one back. The foundations of that boost eradicated. Xanter has to just fight on his own. It's a 1-for-1 against Exertion. Under pressure, looking for his first kill of this map so far, and eventually he will get it. That 5-7 blinded, taking Exertion down. He slips in behind the CT smoke as
プロ
well.
やっぱ投げ物の使い方やっぱうまいんだよな。確実にダメージソースになってる。
You have a chance of winning it. You're going to be buying in the next round no matter what. See if that AK-47 can create something. And if you don't get that opportunity in the next like 10 seconds, you can actually just save it. Play the money game. But worth taking a risk, I think, when you're this much of an underdog.
And move into the open, Torzi, out towards the side of the statue.
Now
Fountain. And so it has worked out very well. AK picked up for Risky Bob. Oh, he's going to try and get away. Jumps over the scope and flees the scene towards CT. But Brolin, no mercy. Oh my god. Straight through that smoke. Risky boy. Look at this. ZOWIE gets around the back. And another AK picked up, but no mercy, no save. As Torzi makes sure ZOWIE can't get away.
Up by 4, and Mouse starting to feel themselves. Confident plays, handling business.
焼肉なんですが、焼肉行く前になんかちょっと夜だから昼はちょっとなんか入れとくか。
Had it one time so far.
All right, Khan. What you got? Op is going to be...
Torzi, though. Ooh, straight away into that top banana peak. Just sprinted up banana. Xanter taking out Risky Bob. Taking a fight against Brolin. Decides to get back behind that smoke. But there's the op from Khan chiming in.
Torji especially is flexing for Mouse. He's had some very aggressive openings on this T-side Inferno with the op, which is really cool to see because we don't normally get it. But he's stepped in front of plenty of smokes. Good flashbang. Opening kill from Shue, and he just has so much confidence that Brolin is going to be backing him up.
Yeah, that flash is devastating. Because it looked like there was a chance for Namiga to start off that initial mid-hold quite well. Because they weren't looking at him. But unfortunately, the flash was just so good. Lear at CT. Exertion's on the hunt. He's got his scent.
Mouse のこのメンバー変わったらどんなかわかんない。
Don't feel bad, Lear. Exertion does that to a lot of people.
Yeah. You're getting the exertion
なんかさ、
experience today.
周囲もさ、移籍するんじゃねえかって噂あったよな。
And you know, because Exertion is a B, you can't fall back and save there now. So you're just kind of
若い新ゲームできるし。Fnatic の欲しいな。
You should want to hunt this AK or this AWP down.
Fnatic の欲しいな。誰も Fnatic に来てくれないんだよな。悲しいぜ。憧れのチームじゃなくなっちゃった。
You know you've got him blocked in, locked in towards library, towards CT spawn. Rip this op out of his hands. There's the escape route opened up for Khan. Really well done. Smoke deployed. Shuhei's close by, but will he expect the lane push? Khan reading everything. Nicely done. In an effort to save this up, and I think now for Malz, you've lost 2. Do you really want to commit a little bit more? You don't want Torji to lose his op. You might just let Khan have this. Say fair play. He's earned the weapon into the next round.
Oh,
but they're still coming.
Yeah, still coming out short and long. And there would be a last-ditch effort to leap into the bomb site to find him. They know where he is now.
Don't do that, don't do that.
Oh, he hides in the corner. And, eventually, last second, that AWP is ripped from his
どうせ負け
fingers.
たチームとFnaticやることになって
He
るん
had to
で、
take the shot at the player jumping up on Balak. An awkward one with the movement.
できれば弱いチームに来てほしい。
He did a lot, but not enough to hang on to the AWP. So back to pistols here from Namiga.
Good time
An
out.
old familiar sting.
Good timeout from shout out to Johnny Cash and 9 Inch Nails.
Yeah.
Good timeout from Cyclone after those 2 round losses, and then they got that victory, and he calls the timeout, and he's just that calming timeout because Malz have just gone on a streak since then.
Risky Bob. Dead. Oh my, okay.
The amount of double kills
Yeah,
we've seen from Malz to open up rounds is nuts.
Because when you put 2 players in the apartments against the 1, you expect at least to trade some of the time, but Malz are getting the double every single time.
Yeah, Yimpad got his double earlier. Brolin now in this round against upgraded pistols and light armor. We saw Brolin get double entry up middle as well. Yeah, they're able to multi-kill, and Namiga having a tough time getting clean trades.
Run away, run away.
Yeah, he's good. He's got exertion to back him up. But some missed shots is going to be frustrating. I think Torji's going to go down. Ooh, maybe not.
He got into the corner. Like you said, he has got exertion to help him now. So the bodyguard squad is there in force. And then 8th round here for Malz as they continue to build up the beautiful T-side campaign.
Go get him, Brolin.
Damn. Nice shot. Santa was one of the players that the desk was highlighting to keep an eye on. He's had some moments. Unfortunately, I do feel like he has been left to save a lot on the B-bomb site.
Well, again, it's like, we can talk about the potential of these players, but if as a team you cannot stack up against your opponent, there's really not a whole lot of opportunities for individuals to shine. Like, you can be playing a life game, but if every time they go to the other bomb site, they just get a
これ
double
対戦
kill,
相手的に
it's
さ、
like,
フナ
what
テ
are
ィッ
you
ク初戦
actually
マウズ
supposed
に
to
も
do?
負ける
You
や
have no
ん
good fights.
バイタ
You
リ
have
ティに
no
も
fights
負
where
け
you
る
have
や
an
ん
advantage. You're constantly saving and just trying to survive. So, yeah,
どこにな
there's
ら
some
勝てるん
players
だ
that
ろ
we can probably talk about for this Namiga team, but I think we'll really see them shine when they're in a matchup that is a little bit more equal to their level and stature.
怪しいな。
Possibly on a different map as well. Do you think Inferno would play into that problem more? Because
センガルにも負けるだろう。
Well, also the Deaths just talked
ベッ
about
ド
that
ブー
as
ムに
well.
も負ける
I
し
mean, Dust mentioned this team is very reliant on Anubis and Ancient specifically, and in the best of ones, when Malz get all these vetoes, you're not going to necessarily get a favorable map.
なかなか難しいところだな。
Yeah, the coach really not getting all the POVs from his position.
That's what I'm saying. He's just chilling. Although, I mean, look, being in that coach's role, there is kind of like this weird disconnect because you have comms of your team, but you don't have in-game sounds.
Oh, okay. So it just feels real.
Unless Perfect World's doing a different setup, but from my experience, it's just like you're just sat.
Dude, it would be terrible. Imagine you had 5
You're just sat in the team speak. Yeah,
yeah, you couldn't have
that's
that.
That's it. It's odd. It's a little unnerving at times.
勝てなさそ
Well, certainly one of the teams
う。
that
どこの
should
チームだっても
be
ギリギリになり
locking
そう。
themselves
フナ
in
テ
a
ィック
spot
っ
at
て
the major in Shanghai. The EU teams have a little less time to wait between the major and the RMRs, whereas the Americas teams, the Asian teams, got to wait a little bit longer now that they've qualified if they're staying in
ホテルの
Shanghai.
一室でやるのってどうなんだろ
I
う、ね
think it'd be crazy to not
中
stay
国
in
の大
Shanghai.
会とかではこれが普通っていうのはさ、よくあるらしい
That
ん
would be
だけど
insanity.
さ。
So you're just gonna get at least all the good practices here, you know.
True. I mean, that's what
ドタ2もこんな感
Twist
じ
said
らしいんだ
after
よね。
Liquid had qualified was they had that they stayed in Singapore after the Blast finals.
普通 ESL とかやるやつってさ、このホテルの大きい会場を貸し切って大会議室みたいな、お客さん入れなくてもさ、こう、なんつうの縦に机並べてさ、で、選手が背中同士でやるみたいな、背中合わせ同士でやるみたいな。選手横並びスタイルじゃん。ホテルでやるとさ、選手横並びスタイルにならないじゃん。これ部屋でやる。
Yeah.
He's had a hard day, a hard morning.
I mean, I don't blame him. You know, that jet lag Jason's probably hitting hard for a few people.
I could go for a nap, not gonna lie to you.
そうなんだろうね。
Flying east is it sucks, Jason. Like, I feel bad for you. I really feel bad for you. Every time I come from, you know, South America or North America back to Europe, it takes me a good while to get back to feeling like a human being again.
I used to be a lot better at it back in the day. Something's changed.
It's called age, Jason. We all watched that Mike Tyson fight. You know, it doesn't help anybody.
Oh, that was sad.
Yeah, it was very sad.
The whole thing was sad. The whole situation.
Yeah, just
the whole setup.
Yep.
Well, we're getting an extended tech delay. It looked like one of the Namiga players was having some issues that's getting sorted out for the moment. Somehow just gets to chill. I don't even think necessarily Shui's like calling a whole lot of stuff. He's probably just calling like an opening defaults with various ideas, with maybe like a loose concept of how to play the mid or late round, and then a lot of it I think is just going to be Mao's kind of pugging isn't the right word, but you are just kind of improvising based off what you see.
Hey, I'm gonna run through the top mid smoke, fly with a Mac 10.
Yeah, I heard this footstep here. They threw 2 nades here. This is the play I want. Just kind of like you're kind of like not pugging as a team, but maybe kind of pugging as like a 2-man group, and you're part of the map in terms of just kind of playing it by what's in front of you.
The buddy system.
Yeah.
Someone's always left out of the buddy system.
Ooh, I saw a thumbs up. We're good to go.
Oh, nice.
Hell yeah.
Let's go.
Look at that pepper.
8-2. 2 rounds left this first half. Namiga.
Chicken lover.
Well, it wasn't. We had one event where there was a chicken lover in the crowd. Shout out to you if you're watching, because we do miss you.
Oh, yeah.
Give Jason a lot of laughs.
It did. He was a big fan of chickens.
We made him his own van. Here we go. 2 rounds left this half. Namiga looking to claw it back. It's needless to say, if they don't win these 2 rounds, it's over. So really important stuff to be going on these last 2 rounds for Namiga.
So good luck.
Off you go. Three-man setup at the B-bomb site this time. Kanze to be Peace over there.
B stuck.
Khan from Kazakhstan.
But how long do you want to keep 3 players at this B-bomb site is my question, if you're an Amiga.
Probably not long if Mao's continue to go towards this A-bomb site.
Yeah, but I mean, at that point,
you might want to keep them. You've
already lost. You've missed the timing. True. This is going to be a Hulse pop coming out, and one flashbang from middle is going to completely destroy the defender.
ZOWIE needs to go huge here. First kill's good. He's got Risky Bob out helping him. And suddenly Mao's fall to just 3 players. So now you realize you've done enough in the initial hold that you can send those rotating players over. And they haven't created space. They haven't got out at all here, Mao's. Shuai the apartments. Bomb is now loose. It looks over for Mao's because the rotation's over here. 4 CTs now ready to go on the A-bomb side.
That's a beautiful reaction, though, from Namiga. This 2-man defense, Risky Bob and ZOWIE. ZOWIE gets the first. Risky Bob was on ult, and he wrapped around. Uh-oh, no. It's coming back.
Not like this. Exertion is just ripping it out of their hands alone. And he has the counts in the side. Backflash came from middle. Will he detect that? He goes back to look at it now. Xanter, he's on the next up, but Exertion eventually goes down. But when he goes into that mode, you always think there's a chance.
He was looking really sharp, and obviously he did see the trajectory of the flashbang and had the read, just didn't realize that he'd gotten all the way already up towards brackets. Was still looking at that mid-ramp, but a really nice attempt in the 2v5. However, this defense, look at the support from Risky Bob coming over to give ZOWIE a little bit of freedom. And Malice, they try and pump 3 players out. Hulse, Torji, after throwing utility, follows up behind it to get the ult and a nice supportive.
最近マジでなんか理由わかんないんだけど、頭当たんなくなっちゃったね、ヘッドショット。マジでやばいね。俺この前、昨日、一昨日ぐらいか、試合勝ったのに俺ヘッドショットパーセンテージゼロにしちゃったんだよ。ゼロってやばくない？全部どうで当たってるじゃん。頭に当たらねえんだわ。助けてくれーって感じだ。
Mel still have a really good buy into this last round of the first half, though. And Towards you mentioned it earlier. What a game he's having. 10-2. And the fact that he's playing so aggressively and he's only died twice.
Yeah.
Wow.
And Amiga hasn't really challenged at those points of like coming through the smoke. Oh, here it is. I said they were going to be setting this up. Let's see if actually they catch Mal's off guard. Flashbang. It's Brolin from Old Mid. Another double kill, and Shui adds on top. So, yeah, you've set that play up the entire half, and it doesn't give you any of the results you were hoping for. Brilliant trade from Shui. Him and Brolin handle everything in this round, and Mal is going to take a commanding 9-3 lead into the halftime.
Brolin just left him bruised throughout this half. Just so many multi-kills towards A.
17 kills.
Yeah, he's just a beast. I mean, even the pistol round started off, just Brolin was
quad
a beast.
Kill.
Yeah, and then from that point onwards, man, he was just their nightmare.
Styling on him, flexing. Lovely half from Mal's.
That's how he got it. Commitment down mid. He was primed with a distraction, and he was able to just take every opponent that came into his crosshair. This is the kind of performance you want to see from Mal's, though, coming into a tournament like this, right? As one of those teams that should be making it into the major comfortably. You have a team like Namiga, and Mal's just handling business at the moment.
It's so unfortunate for Namiga, or maybe not unfortunate, but, you know, they throw that smoke out, and, like, twice, Torji with an AWP is, like, solo jumping through it to get an angle on mid, and the one time they actually try and push down with that smoke, it's not Torji, it's the Riflers, and they played a little bit smarter. They just drop flashes into the smoke, throw some nades through it, and let the rap player take first contact. Perfect protocol.
全然関係ないけどさ、キーボードの爪あるじゃん。キーボードの爪。ここにさ、高さ変えるような爪あるじゃん。折れちった。大パンしたわけじゃないよ。大パンしたわけじゃない。俺キーボードちょっと斜めになってないと嫌なんだけどさ。高さが。折れちゃった。
Always got to be one of those on the T side.
しかもウーティングのこのサイズ、フルサイズのキーボードの側ないらしい。カスタム、60H とかはカスタムモッドっつってさ、いろんな人がさ、そのカスタマイズしたりさ、したケースがアルミだったりとかさ、いろんな模様が綺麗な、かっこいい模様が入ってる、売ってんだけどさ、ね、このフルサイズは。悲しい。
Looks like he's going to get that opportunity here. In the meantime, Lear taking damage on board. Yimpat's patience pays off. Opening kill of the pistol round. He sees them continuing through the apartments, and he gets out of there.
Yeah, good spot on that second player. Not a good fight for Yimpat, and he's happy with the 5-on-4 he's provided. So yeah, you get some information, you get to keep some tracking on the Amiga players, and then you descend into the mid-round with an advantage. Beautifully done by Yimpat. One of the star players for Mal's hasn't had to do a whole lot in this game. Shuhei's going to be in the cubby on rap side. Can peek out at a timing. There's no Molotovs to clear him whatsoever. Now, he's got no support from Library or Long. He's just kind of alone. He can get hard cleared.
Oh, center. What a shot on the P250. The spin on Shuei is beautiful. Now, 20 seconds left. Very limited time. Torji with a clean shot on that P2000. He's just waiting within the bomb side. It was actually a double from Torji at the end, and he just lands a blinder. So, yeah, feeling the wrath of just the individual power of these Mal's players. Honestly, getting a bomb plant out of that situation's not the worst.
No, not at all. Yeah, they'll be happy about that one at the very least, but obviously the scoreline just shows that this ain't even close to being a close affair, and a bomb plant just not enough. They need the win. But yeah, these kills from Torji inside the bomb site are filthy. Beautiful first shot, and then blinded. I didn't even like see that second kill come out in the actual. I was like, did he miss that? I was like,
yeah, I thought it was I thought it was the flash.
The player's missing from my vision. Yeah, the player's missing from my screen, but I can't actually tell if he got that.
The flash made it hard to tell. Oh my god, that's just filth from Torzi. Starting to get to the end of the road now from Amiga. 3 Galils, Risky Bob, Xanter, and ZOWIE getting to wield those. Tech 9, Mac 10 for Lear and Cad.
Does Shuhei know Jimmy just played this position last round? Ooh, almost gets one. Dink.
いいね。いいけど FB をみんなが食らってる。味方も食らってる。最悪だ。今いいバナナじゃねえ、ボイラーキルできたのに、勢いで入ったら、めっちゃ味方が後ろから FB 入れてくれてた。悲しみ。
And Mao is looking like they're just gonna sweep this one up and move on to the next game.
As they should, really. Is Cloud9 the other game going on? I won't spoil what's happening over there for you guys. In case you want to watch all the details, you know, both games.
Poor little Dinko. You're scarred. You've been trying to keep everyone up to date on the multiple streams.
Years, you know, I've been doing this thing where, like, spoiler alert, mute your headsets.
Yeah. And the people, they're just not enjoying it.
No. So there is another game. That's all I'm giving you. 11-3 scoreline. Lear now up towards top mid. He impacts out to the right side. Torch is about to be unleashed. He goes around the corner. It's a double opener here for Mouse as they look to grab map point.
Yeah, got to be frustrating for Namiga. You don't even play the mid round. You're already down 2 players. So swap out to the Galil instead of an SMG.
ここまで希望がないともう負けて次の試合行った方がいいまである。
He can be very aggressive if he chooses to. Smoke is probably going to dissuade him, but maybe a flashbang comes. Nope, he's just going to walk on through. All right. All right.
Next, man.
There's nothing you can do. You walk behind a smoke, you're just getting dinked. Now Exertion's coming up on the mid flank. 12-3 in the next 2 seconds. Yimpat and Pit. A lot of damage done eventually. All the essential kills come in. Mouse lose 2 players, but grab 12 rounds. And with no bomb plant, it doesn't tip them over the edge, so you don't get that real solid power. You can get the AKs out for this final round. They'll go for a timeout, but they're going to have Galil's Mac-10s, Tech-9s.
Torji's living the dream. He's just great first half. He's just been adding a couple here and there. The nice pistol on the second half, but he just hasn't died. He's just
3 deaths, dude.
Yeah, I'm just going to hang out. This is fun.
It's kind of the dream start.
Equated to the scoreboard. If Torji dies, Namiga wins the round.
That's true. You cracked the code. Well, coach gives his rallying cries from the chair.
His last one.
Yeah.
Better be one hell of a speech.
To one player.
This better be like Independence Day levels of speech.
Or Mighty Ducks.
Ooh, Mighty Ducks is not a bad shout.
But even if you combine those, probably not going to work here.
Probably not enough.
4 Galils, 1 Mac-10. And a dream. As Torzi goes for the mid-peak. And Torzi with a fantastic start.
Oh,
he goes aggressive, and Torzi's got a second in him.
I love the flex. I love when Torji hits this mode. He's a fun offer to watch when he wants to get stuck in. He's going to get another one.
Yeah.
No,
he missed that one.
やっぱこうなるから最近ボイラー行くのやめようと。最近ボイラー行って勝率があんまり高くない気がするな俺。アウプで見ててもワンパンチされる可能性ある。
This is all a fake over at the 8 bomb site. Problem is Lear's so far away and he doesn't know where anyone is. They've seen Exertion push down twice. He's going to make the sprint. When will Mao's piece this together? Utility being up. Already, Brolin's like, something's wrong. Something's going on. Bomb's being planted. I don't think Shuhei... I think Shuhei's going to say, like, it's not A. Oh, no. Yeah, that's what he's saying. It's clear.
Oh, now he knows he's in the library.
Yeah, he knows he's got a one-on-one, but he wants to handle this because Shuhei's so far off. Oh, Brolin, if you can just stay alive, now you've got information. Wait for your teammate. You can bait Shuhei on the way in. There's 2 kits. 1 flashbang on Shuhei.
Time is starting to tick, though. Lear's repositioned into the pool.
Yeah, flash Shuhei in.
Yeah, you got to go now. You just got to go. That flash isn't coming in. They're just going to go with guns. And Brolin eventually batters him into the ground. He gets to the defuse. And Mouse with a 13-3 victory. They come out on day 1 of the EURMR, and they handle business against Namiga.
Handled business indeed. Namiga there, not really at the races. But let's also be real. I mean, we expected Mouse to win, and this is the type of map they always win comfortably, right, guys?
Studio environment. In fact, actually, prac room environment.
Yeah.
They're going to feel right at home. We saw mechanical prowess coming out of Brolin especially, Yimpat on some of those porch holds, getting multi-frags that he really has no business getting, exertion clearing angles in devastating fashion, much to Namiga's detriment, and all in all, I can't really walk away with my head held in any way but on the floor if I'm Namiga.
Yeah, I mean, that's a tough one. It really is. I mean, it was always going to be tough to beat Mouse Sports no matter where the map went. Ancient and Anubis were their best chances. They didn't get that in a best-of-1 situation where Mouse was able to meticulously ban out any strength that Amiga would be able to bring to the table. And while Mouse Sports is kind of the middle of the table Inferno team, they still beat some of the best teams in the world on a regular basis, and most of their losses are either the G2, who are just incredibly powerful with so much raw talent, or NaVi, which have been super close losses. So, yeah, you knew Mouse came in with the edge, and you mentioned Brolin, and I actually like that you did, because I feel like this is one of the maps where he gets to be a little bit more proactive. You know, some of the other maps, he has to kind of play, like, more supportive roles because Xerxion's kind of the main guy, you know what I mean? But on this map, you can kind of play that mid-boiler position, help with some of the entry fragging, and kind of just show you that what he's still capable of, you know, as he is kind of one of the more veterans, I guess you could say, on the team. Often gets kind of overshadowed by some of the other talents on the squad.
You still feeling good about putting them in your magnificent
スーパーに売ってると思う。大阪王将の極みの肉汁爆弾餃子っていうの方の丸い餃子。肉汁すごいぜみたいなやつ買ったのね。で焼いてさ、美味しかったのめちゃくちゃ。もうこんな感じで写真がこう僕肉汁すっげえみたいな、もう噛んだ瞬間にもう肉汁ジュワーみたいな。そしたら肉汁が飛び散って俺のスウェットが肉汁まみれになっちゃったの。飛び散りがすごくて、肉汁ってさ全然普通の洗剤じゃ落ちなくて、この肉汁がちょっと漂白剤につけてます。色落ちしない。おしっこが飛び散ったみたいになっちゃってさ、全然消えねえの。最悪ですわ。次の試合はどこ対どこ？フェーズ C9 やってるじゃん。C9 も最近ちょっとなメンバーいろいろ系、パーフェクト、ブーミッチ、あとなんかヘビーゴッドか。なんかそれなりにロシアでいけそうなやつ集めてみましたが、フェイズも最近あれなんだよね。今までしばらくフェイズは決勝常連チームって
run boost as well. It's slick. Axile up quick on the heaven. He's going to push through here. We saw he loved to play this on the T side. How's his CT looking? The flash though is on point. Fully blinding Axile. Never stood a chance.
A lot of control of the map already exchanged into the hands of FaZe. They can
最近調子良くないよね。
First pick's good. Damage back, sure, but not enough to leave you with a lot of confidence yet. You've got to play on the back foot a little bit here. Boomage close towards Cave with the MP9. They come running on in, sure. Rest of the squad repositions round towards mid. Face out through red room. Frozen. Froze the smoke. Set up a Carrigan for the swing. Ooh, Winters finds that one. Hell of a snapshot back on the Rops as well. Softens them up.
And you're going to be tilted if you're Frozen. He did nothing wrong. Just nailed through the smoke, wrong place at the wrong
最近
time.
エンシェントやるようになったんだけど、エンシェントめっちゃ苦手なんだよな。こういうアングルきつい角度がいっぱいあるマップ好きじゃないんだよな、多分もう。見れない。
Gives FaZe the narrow advantage. Molotov toss to the side, gonna try and draw away the plant flat a little bit longer, allow the rotation to come in as well for Icy. However, it is one-dimensional. All three players at the back side of the site. Grenade comes in, but Brokey was fully healthy at the time, so he's okay. Shrugs off the shrapnel. And now Cloud9, with just a flashbang between the three of them, have got to try and perfectly place this and look for those re-engaging kills. Brokey stuck behind the pillar as well. The spots here for FaZe look so powerful. Cloud9 have got to fully commit before they can even see someone. Carrigan goes down, but a ton of damage onto Heavy God, who's going to be finished off, and now
本語
the
で解
curtain
説
comes
してく
down.
れる世界唯
The
一のチ
positions
ャ
that
ンネル
FaZe
助
had
か
for
りま
that
す。
retake was so
で
solid,
もこの
so
時間やってるかわかんないけど、たまにツイッチ
powerful.
で
It
試
was
合見てる
my
人いる
fame
よ。
to
ライザーで
sacrifice
俺だけ
himself
じゃな
to
い。
the CS gods
みんな
because
も
he
み
knew
んなも
they'd
配信
scored
しよ
long enough.
う。難しいよね、このマップね。アングルがね。めっちゃ苦手だわ。
Yep.
Yeah,
Understandable.
it's the reaction we thought we'd see.
どこ見てもどこをさ、こうさ、
Maybe not an RMR, to be fair.
クリアしてってもさ、横から撃たれる。
Game, mate. A little bit different.
テロ側。すげえ苦手。
So I can't even be mad. I just take the L, I guess. Just sit here.
Yeah. Guess we win the round, so it's fine.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna do a lot to the tilt. Detox him a little bit.
Get those electrolytes back in. Refresh yourself. And Boomich, he was quite fitting actually. Obviously, same fight he took versus Carrick in the first half.
強いブローキー。
He knows all too well about the tight left box.
最近もう俺は強気で勝負することを忘れてしまった。心が弱い。
Single kit invested into on Boomich with the smoke.
気持ちを切り替えるしかない。
Pistols as well. Heavy gob with the deagle. That's his signature weapon for me, Vince. When he's on a pistol round like this, he can go absolutely.
こいつの D めっちゃ綺麗、新しいやつね。青森パスのエリミネッテリションみたいなやつじゃない？
I think it was a HE that was tossed in by Brokey.
今の
I don't think
D
it was the wall bang.
ヘビーゴッドのやつ。誰かヘビーゴッドとしてくれ。これじゃない。これじゃない。
So well placed bit of utility, unconfirmed damage, but they'll have a good read of the economy of Cloud9, and they are walking into the stacked site right now. Boomich is watching the back just to make sure they're not being flanked. The rest have their eyes trained on these entry points. Playing with his food a little bit, Axal, but he's just looking for intel with the shoulder peek. FaZe still have a minute left on the clock. They could vacate the premises and get over onto the
Hi, greeting from Mongolia. Hello.
To this one, Jackie. The bomb is even over here on the ramp.
最近フィールドの試合見てない。最近なんかもう本当にマジでメンタル壊れてす。ブラストもブラスト見たけど、ブラスト配信もしなかったし。
He could absolutely skin him alive here. Angle's good for the first. One by one, they're peeking into him. Flash down right teammate. Axel's the only one that answers with a single pickup. Boomich inside of the smoke. Won't be long for this world.
やばいカーリが2個にもやばかった。危ない。やばいやばいやばいって書いてあった。わかるわかる。
An awkward spray didn't matter. He got the kill, and more importantly, FaZe got the round. It was a bit of a gimme though. It was a formality.
モンゴルズは試合終わったからね。モンゴルズの応援配信もしたかったんだけど、ちょっとパソコンのね、パソコン変えてから配信設定がね、すげえめんどくさくて、めんどくさいって言っちゃダメだね。大変でね。結局棒読み、今みんなが YouTube にコメントしてくれる分には読み込めるんだけど、スタラバの掲示板にコメントしてくれても読み上げてくれないから、ちょっとこれの問題が解決してほしいんだよ。いろいろちょっとやってるんだけど。熱っ。
Heavy Gods repaying from last round with a HE straight onto the face of Brokey.
いや、こうなるんだよな。こうなるんだよな。死が待っていた。いや、3人でさ、プロが3人で守っててもこうなるじゃない？このエーセントの B サイトってさ、やりたくないんだよな、俺このマップマジで。
Does mean though, FaZe starting to close the distance here in their BO1, moving on to 10 rounds.
Brokey's leveling up as well. He finished the first half very strong with that 3K and the
脳が破壊される。
Not showing any signs of slowing down. Two in this round.
取り返しはしやすい
with the rifles.
かな。取り返しはしやすいのかな。
And now has an AWP by his side. Bomb detonation for a 10th FaZe clan round. It feels kind of similar to the last map we casted actually between Vitalik and Gamer Legion, where it's like Cloud9 were really fast out the blocks. They've had a bunch of opportunities, a lot of clutches for FaZe, and now that the home stretch is here and FaZe have fully spread their wings, there only looks like there's going to be one winner, realistically. IC's not just been given an opportunity to show us anything. Like, they lose the site so quick. Has to be a save.
そうなる。わかるわかる。気持ちはわかる。
Setting in off the back of it as well. Feeling like you could have done more in the position you were in. IC trying to keep him guessing with the placement of the AWP, this time supporting the defense towards the B site. It's an early A-focused setup. Deep inside of main. Smoke round onto Donut as well. VENTUS is up on the boost. Axal's there with just the P250 trying to play inside of Donut. See if he can catch him on the split. Then you've got the lurk of Rain as well. So if they go for the info play out through ramp side, he should be able to clean him up easy.
Should being the operative word. We'll see if they actually do. Here's our FaZe have been looking clinical. Given an inch, they have snatched away a mile.
タイミングよ。下がれ下がれ。もう守れないです、これは。じわじわじわじわ。多い網が縮まっていってる。やばい。
Two smokes and an incendiary. Still at disposal of Cloud9. Looking to try and expel this push.
これワンチャンフェーズ自己漏ではそんなことないか角度いやまあいや乗ってきてるしな出るアングルによっては一人おおそうだなで隠れてるよねテンプルの中に出るタイミングいつ出るんでいつ出るの今でしょはあ裏が死んでもうたまあ正面打ち合ってるからスモーク抜けたいよな見られてたマーベルとかとさ、スキン、ファームマーケット、yes。
To run out with a 5-7, I'm thinking they have a real good chance in that one, but couldn't get it done up close and personal. Just blows up in his face.
1 point to secret in the player. Mark it off.
Nice! Calm on the comms as well. Celebration off the back of the round. We head into the 19th with FaZe Clan leading 11-7. IC was able to afford himself another AWP. Some concessions made in terms of the utility. Awful lot of smoke thrown out early as well, so you leave yourself relatively dry for the late rounds. Bit of a change up of pace towards mid though.
Mid smoked off twice, but those are going to clear momentarily. And now FaZe starting to bypass a couple of these positions. They were boosted up on the box again, but Brokey has fell off. Another smoke tossed in. Not many more to play with. One in actual fact, and that's Inters over on A. So this B site for over a minute is going to have to stand under extreme scrutiny and pressure with very little in terms of utility. And so this may force them into an aggressive cave push. They've double stacked it with Heavy God and Boomich. But this is leaving the ramp very fragile. Axal is effectively watching this alone. And now the nades start to come in. Smoke toss to Axal's position, but they could just bypass this and head back over onto A. Mid is completely bereft of CTs, and that's what FaZe are going for.
I see. This is a round where we need to see what you're made of. So much pressure put on, two angles to focus on. The AK's getting close and personal, and Frozen finds him whilst his attention is back round on Donut. See the problems running through their minds. You go for this round, you leave yourself hung, drong, and quartered going into the next step. Nothing to work with in terms of the weapons, and it would be a very slippery slope. You've got to save all three of these guns, give up another round, allow FaZe to climb to match point here in the BO1.
I think this is really like a cool moment to just establish that because FaZe Clan have conditioned Cloud9 so many rounds by playing aggressively in mid, by playing aggressively on B, while a nice shot from Axal, it's not going to stop 12-7 score. Cloud9 didn't have much utility, and they expended so much of it early in the round that they just didn't have anything late game. If they had a smoke or an incendiary, then Icy could play Xbox pretty happy that they're not going to push him. He had to fully focus attention on Donut and just got smacked in the side. This is the problem when you're Cloud9.
いや、テロは、俺もテロはどうでもいいけど、CT、インセントの CT めっちゃ苦手なんだよな。
It's such a difficult decision to make. And that's really Carrigan just being in their minds, conditioning them to just feel super uncomfortable and unstable the entire CT side.
Hey, you've been toying with them. And we saw that being the trend, right? Opening moments, everything's getting thrown. The kitchen sinks even being launched out towards mid, all the smokes on B.
最近投げ物も覚えられなくなってきて、だんだん俺。やばい。 印刷しとこうかな。紙にさ、印刷してさ、プロが持ってる作戦ノートみたいにさ、印刷してさ、試合前にこう見てさ、やろうかな。そうしようか。それがいいし、いいかもしれない。
No opportunity to warp for him now. All rifle. One of those being the FAMAS in the hands of Boomich. They've got the utility, but how do they use it? Early offensive nades down on mid. Brokey on the receiving end, but goes unscathed for the damage. Ooh, tries to get back up close though. Didn't realize just how tight Axel had gotten himself.
そんな感じ。
Finds that first pick.
Made the most of some really good spawns, but they have lost INTERS through on middle, and this puts Axile in a world of hurt. He is alone. He's going to be pushed in too, and Rops finishes him off. He knew the weakness and the vulnerabilities of middle and exploited it fully. And whereas you could say in the first half phase, we're living by a thread of just clutch after clutch, this second half has been pure domination. Cloud9 win both pistols and only have 7 rounds to show for it. And it could be a done deal here, unless they can pull off this 3v4.
Well, they bring it back into a 3 versus 3. But Carrigan, he's had his moments in the sun at the B site with the AK, and again here he finds the first. Boomich shut down through the smoke with a single bullet. Heavy God could be walking straight into the crosshair of Frozen as well. Tucks into the corner. Backside of the smoke, Frozen. He's going to walk into you on this. Oh no, they're right on top of each other. It just depends on the timing of the smoke fading. If you can
surprise!
Heavy God says hello in the rudest way possible. Bomb drop because of it. Time starting to tick. 20 seconds on the clock. Flashes for himself.
あれ投げ物のさ、あれどこやったんだっけな。投げ物。投げ物カンニングペーパーを作ってる人がいたんだよな。
It's unfortunate for Frozen as well. Like typically when you're trying to bypass through smokes, if you're getting blocked in an obvious spot, then you know exactly what's coming up. But the wall was so close to where he was getting blocked by Heavy God, he clearly thought he was just against the wall, and it totally threw him off.
これかな。
But still, the reaction speed of Heavy God there was significant. It looked like he was going to lose that fight still. The battle was right in front of Frozen's eyes, and he still just got slapped straight to the dome. 12-8 the score then.
あるある。
And Heavy God is
俺にはない
showing
けど。
us he is the real deal. He is keeping Cloud9 in this game.
Be a very explosive player to watch. This was the moment, the awkward encounter. Oh, you can see the turn on the AK barrel as well, just how close it was. Then I see with the heads up.
It's just not been Frozen stays. It got wrecked through a smoke by INTERS. Now this has happened. They don't have to be bangers, as long as you get the win. That's all that matters, and you are in a very good spot to do just that. But Cloud9 still fighting. Still in with a shot as a trade comes through, and Frozen on the opposite side of the spectrum from Axar's M4. Carrigan will punish. And once again, Cloud9 find themselves a player behind, and it's the exact same 3 players to clutch.
Does lightning strike twice, or is it broken?
まあそうなるわな。
That only needs to pull the trigger once straight to the face of Boomich. The scope delivers. And now it gets even harder for Cloud9. Looking to cling on to the game, drag themselves into another round. And Carrigan. It would have been his second of the round fighting down towards mid-side. Instead it's just a tag onto IC still alive.
IC ってやつもさ、前いたチームがちょっとなんだろうな、正しいって言ったらおかしいけど、ほぼ契約が残ってるのに引き抜きに近い形で移籍したんで、あんま最近 CS ってないんですよね。ちゃんとした引き抜きってあんまなくて。契約期間が終わるか移籍金払うかみたいな。ほぼ引き抜き状態で移籍してきたんだけど、それに見合う活躍をしてくれないと困るよね。
Oh, well, he just delivers once again when it's required. A vintage performance from him, especially in that first half, gets phased across the finish line for the 1-0.
There you have it. Celebration off the back of the confirmation that the win is theirs in the best of one. Oh, man. Yeah, Rain was really full of
オレンジ色のマウスパッドアーティさんじゃない？
impact.
これ。
Magnificent
違う？
with some of the 2Ks he's finding. The round out towards B, the way he's playing it, hitting some crisp shots.
この配置だとさ、カメラがさ、選手の手元に行かないから
Go
さ、
down early in the EU RMR.
I think it's a bit of a strange one as well for Cloud9, like reflecting on this game, because on the one hand, you only posted up like, what,
こういう写真が欲しい。
rounds and you won both pistols. But on the other, if you were more clinical in that first half, you could have legit had like a 9-3, 8-4 halftime scoreline on Ancient. And that could have been enough to just get you the momentum to outright beat FaZe. So this is a very odd one. It's like, it's why I don't always look at a scoreline and just assume that like how a game went. Yeah. It's 13-8, but in all honesty, that first half from Cloud9 was looking really good. Their CT side though, man, like that was rough. They were getting outplayed almost every given turn. Karrigan had some fantastic calls. You can see how close the scoreline is. It was 7-7 at one point. And they still get battered 13-8 in the end. So if I'm Cloud9, I'm not getting too on top of myself and like beating myself up. You just lost to FaZe, one of the favorites. There were chances though, and you've got to keep that confidence going through into your next matchup.
And you're right, there certainly was an awful lot of chances where it felt like it could have been so much more
Ah,
of a
awesome.
scoreline
VENTUS
here
more.
for Cloud9. And Karrigan leading by example in a couple of the T rounds as well.
Maybe
The
got
plays
the
out
match on
towards mid, always catching them on the timing,
Yeah, the
finding the
match on the
entries
match.
onto B. Stepping up to the plate to assess the team. Even with Frozen having a very unlucky day of it. Smoke shots, awkward encounters. They still find their way through.
Yeah, it's one of those games. I just remember he also got killed by Axal through the smoke, didn't he? Yeah. Early on, so it was a really unlucky game for him, but his team still prevail, and that's all that matters. Heavy God tried his best.
ブロッキーが調子いいときはね、だいぶ安定して勝てるね。最近フェーズ負けてるとき、ブロッキーがね、あかん人なんですよ。カーリガンとレインはおじさんだからしょうがないけど。
Robs had a very slow game as well, was constantly saving in the first half. 32.76 ADR, like that's pretty grim. But when you got Brokey popping off and Rain performing like, you know, god tier levels with tons of clutches, there's only so many kills to go around. So ultimately, FaZe get the job done. There were definitely moments of excitement for Cloud9, but it was just a bridge too far.
試合がどんどんね、1試合目ってさ、強いチームとそこまで強くないチームの試合からどんどん進んでいくね。15時。あ、ファルコンズ、シンプル、ついに出陣。ベベーン、来ました。ファルコンズ G2 ついに出陣です、これ。この後、楽しみ、あと10分になります。これ見ようぜ、みんなで。多分相手ボコせるだろうけど、ファルコンズ24位、相手45位、2倍違うから、多分ボコせるだろうけど、シンプルがどれだけ戻ってきたかやな。マジで前髪さ。
Yeah, especially in those higher seed matchups, the 1-0 games Of course, that's coming up later on. For us here, though, we'll take a bit of a brief break and then get back into our opening best of one. So don't go anywhere.
She said she loves you, but she can't love me.
But I love you.
I won't play window anymore.
What's going on?
Play your role. 1xbet.
映画見るよりギャンブルサイトしようって映画は見ろよ、映画は。おい、また中国で切りつけ事件起きてるじゃん。怖すぎない、あの国。 最近めちゃくちゃだよ。
今日から配信再開ですか？
今日から配信再開です。一応、そうそう、程よく配信設定も終わりましたし、なんとなくできるようになったんで、一応パソコンも組み直しましたし、ちょっとまだちょっと細かいところができてないんですけど、一応配信のコメントは読み込めるようになったから、ちょっとまたやっていこうかなと。あとちょっと体調も悪くて、10月、11月。ちょっとメンタルが破壊されてるばっかりだったので、最近ちょっと病院を変えてですね、睡眠薬を、いい感じの睡眠薬いただけたので、だいぶ寝れるようになったんですね。この寝れるっていうのはいいですね。
仕事も忙しいのですか？
仕事忙しいっていうほど忙しくはないけど、まあプレッシャーというか、でだんだん寝れなくなっちゃって、まあ、今までも睡眠薬飲んでたんですけど、だんだんもともと飲んでた睡眠薬がそんなにその強い薬じゃなくて、まあ、最初の布団に入って眠いを作る薬だったので、何時間もちゃんと寝れるとかじゃなかったんで、睡眠薬飲んでも結構2時間とか4時間で起きちゃって、だから早く寝なきゃと思って10時とか11時に布団入っても2時ぐらいに目が覚めちゃうんですよね、1回お酒飲んでなくても。で2時ぐらいに目が覚めちゃって、いやまだ4時間しか寝てないなと思って布団でもう一回入っていっても眠くならないんですよね。もう目が覚めちゃって、で4時ぐらい2時ぐらいから4時ぐらいまでずっと布団で2時間ぐらいゴロゴロ、もうひどい時は6時ぐらいまでゴロゴロして4時間布団でゴロゴロ、もう寝返り打ったり枕の向き変えてみたりで、俺仕事10時からなんか9時半にリモートワークだから9時半に起きてればいいから最悪でもね。やっと7時ぐらいになって、あ、眠くなってきたーって思って寝たら寝坊したりするじゃん。結局さ、最初の、ね、4時間と最後の2時間しか寝てなくて6時間。本当は10時間寝れたとか。を繰り返してて。じゃあもう、お酒飲んで睡眠薬飲んじゃおうってやってたら、それは寝坊したから、起きれなくて今度は。もう36で寝坊やばいでしょ。中間管理職。 なので、病院をちょっと変えてですね、お薬もちょっと途中で起きないような薬を変えて、自分で量を調節できるやつなんで、寝る時間とかに合わせてちょっといろいろ今やってるんで、今のところ、だいぶ途中で起きないっていうだけでだいぶ体は良くなってる。デバイスもさ、メジャー出てこないじゃん。デバイスもストレスで、確か胃がやられたんだよね、最初。体調悪かったじゃん。デバイスしばらく体感出てなかったでしょ。昔、ニップに行った時、アストからニップに行った時さ、体調不良っつっててずっと、ストレスで胃がやられてて、で、集中できないみたいになって、で、この前のブラストファイナルの時にまたその症状が再発して、不眠症になって、ジェットラグ、時差ボケがあるからそれのせいかと思ってたけど、家に帰っても治んなくて。不眠症、動悸、息切れ、自律神経失調症みたいななっちゃって、もし大会集中できないからしばらく休めさせてくださいってしょうがないよね。一回不眠症になるとね、不眠症だから不眠症になってくるんだよね。寝れないから寝れないみたいな。意味わかんないでしょ。徹夜でゲームしちゃったとか、徹夜でカラオケしちゃったとかの寝れないじゃなくて、布団に入っても寝れないから、それがストレスになって全然負の連鎖が始まる。気をつけようね、みんなも健康にはね。
一時期布団入ってもプレイセートのラッパずっと聞こえてた。
どういうこと？
お久しぶりです。お元気そうでよかったです。
なんとか最近は体調がだいぶ。上海はトイレってこと？そういうこと？トイレの中に上海があるってことこれ。
Always fun seeing what High and By, the Perfect World mascots, are getting
次ファルコンズの試合です。楽しみだな。シンプルどんな感じか。バリバリ殺してほしいね、敵ね。マジで。
Yes, and a team that's been through quite a bit of turbulence, shall we say.
入ってきたぞっていうのを見せてほしい。
Quite lived up to the mark that I think a lot of people expected from them when they first came into the scene. They've had quite a few roster changes. Obviously, the most
来年には
notable
ここに
one
ニ
is
コとモネシ
Sennheiser
も入ってるから
being
大丈夫
simple
大
in
丈
for
夫。
Sun Pius.
来
Was
年
a
もうこの
surprise
メ
for
ンバーじゃ
some
ないから
people that he came back,
ニコとモネシ
but
がいま
now
す。
he
一人
is
で
back with a chance to maybe even come straight back into a major if Falcons can get it done. But I know there's a lot of naysayers out there about this roster. They're not fully convinced just yet.
Yeah, I mean, on paper, right, it's a powerhouse. It's got some incredible stats behind it. You look at Magisk, right, like in terms of the majors attended to majors won, it's a crazy stat. It's like 44% or something that he's been able to convert, which it's not human to be able to take that many major titles. But yeah, it's a weird one, right? Because there's a lot of different polarizing opinions about are they going to play well? Is Simple going to be able to play up to his level? Obviously coming in, like you said, off the back of Pius is effectively a substitute, but as an actual player for the team fully.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't think that we've had enough of a sample size to fully judge Simple yet on his return. I think this RMR actually is a perfect barometer for us to see is it going to work out.
あり
obviously there's
そ
a
う
lot
で
of
すか
rumors behind the scenes as well as is classic, and we'll see if any of those come to fruition after the major kind of comes to its conclusion. You're hearing things like Jimmy potentially is going to join Falcons. You've heard Spinks as well has been in the rumors, so we'll see what happens. But what we do know is right now the firepower on this Falcons team is a little bit lacking at times. It feels like even with the very limited sample size we have, it is a case of simple pops off where they do struggle just a tad, because Magisk is playing different roles. He's not at that same level as we saw him back at Astralis, where he was popping off with a very high major wins, as you said, to conversion rate. Dupree is another guy that has tons of ability and is a very promising prospect, and obviously has a lot of experience with this roster, but he's not really finding that same kind of caliber. So you're looking at like maybe Madden, because Snappy's certainly not going to. We've already had Simple get shanked at spawn.
Oh, Simple's been stabbed in the back instantly. All right, I mean, is that an omen? I suppose we'll see. That's a hilarious way to kick things off, mate. Sometimes you get stabbed in the back. Falcons, here we go. T-side pistol versus ARTISAN. An interesting team that could potentially throw a bit of a cheeky upset against Falcons. It'd be a hell of a way to start things off. Obviously, we know all too well the trials and tribulations that this organization's been through at RMRs. Madden. Up close towards Dark, it's Blitz with the Julies in hands, turns, takes the fight, good damage onto the second as well. Lucky that Simple survives that, off the back of even the damage and spawn from his teammate. Could have been hellish, but he's on the bomb site now, and he's got backup. Forzy though, swings out round the back Vince, takes the head clean off.
Oh, it's down to Snappy, and he was the player that shanked Simple. And now he has to try and make amends with the clutch. I don't think he knows he's about to get backstabbed by MBQK. Oh, he's dead, man. He's got him dead to rights, and Eklot start with a clutch and a post plant on top of it. Oh yeah, bit of an awkward one really on the push in. It's like they weren't checking the angles. Forzy got a free B pick from the back as well, and they never really like established from that point or stabilized it.
Yeah. Maybe Snappy had just changed the mouse. That's why he accidentally stabbed him, mate. Getting used to the buttons.
Yeah, it works. It works simple.
God damn. Boros the Butcher makes an appearance as the blade stabs him in the back. Right then, Eklot, first round on the board for the pistol. Cheeky one here. Strap in for this. Be a hell of an upset. Let's see how it goes on the rebuy straight back in. You got Mac 10s. Galil in the hands of Snappy. Flashbangs to work with as well. Throwing him deep over the back of the B-bomb site and looking for the run on in. Up on top with the M4 though. Can't afford the luxury of going for a peek due to the utility usage, and Magisk and Snappy activate early. Looking good for a response back in.
Yeah, this has been clean. Way better than that pistol round. Snappy with a hail of gunfire just spraying through the smoke, forces back the CTs, and Eklot will have to save. Dita had 2 kills in that opening engagement on the pistol, but couldn't see anything through the hail of smokes that were all in his face. So Falcons with the perfect retort, retaliating with their first round of what they hope will be many. And to put it in perspective as well, for maybe those of you that don't know too much about Eklot, they do play a hell of a lot of Anubis, 26 recorded maps played. It's their second most behind Mirage, with a 50% win rate, dead even. And some notable wins against the likes of Sashi. They had a very close game against BetBoom as well, but obviously they're not playing against the caliber of teams of the tier 1 bracket like Falcons have been. So take it with a pinch of salt.
Yeah, and it's a ton of domestic games, right?
Oh, yeah.
Awful lot of online played. Taking wins within their region as well. Slovak National Championships, that was the first place. Had 2 first place at the Tip Sport Summer and Spring events as well. Of course, it's all domestic. That's kind of the difference, right? It's not your tier 1 matchups. So you've got to rise to the occasion here. You qualified to the event. How far can you take it? That's always the question with these sort of quantities, especially with a roster like Eklot. Early on, you get the 1-for-1. It was a nice pistol, but the follow-up wasn't there, so you've got to make the best of the cash flow you've got available. 2 M4s, 3 MP9s supporting it. But almost dry on nades already. It's only 1 flash in the back pocket of Blitz.
シンプルは、契約今どうなってんだろうな。
react accordingly. But yeah, the lack of utility is a bit of a problem.
ああ、ローン契約だったよね。
Firepower over it, got a bit of a boost in here for Daito. Blitz is
結局
punching him up.
ナビの契約がまだ残ってるからローン契約
Trying
だ
to strike from that nest, but it's still it's Madden. The Magpies him out. Snappy in the meanwhile, the drive-by with the Mac 10.
フナティックは今日はダメでしたが、ありそうだよね。上振れ次第じゃない？
They have now picked it up, and Snappy activates a lot of
フナ
damage
ティック
inflicted
って
again.
平均値が60点ぐらいで、60点か70点。よくて70点じゃない？平均点。フナティックの。平均点70点のチームって何かで上振れ出ないと無理だよね、多分。
Realistically, should have been a Falcons round coming into it with a buy you had available. And for the two low HP players, the fact you're able to get out and actually still have that Galoo in your hands is impressive stuff. So you'll carry that into the next.
コールオブデューティーキルストリークじゃねえんだから。
Reinvest that instantly. Get the AKs back out on parade.
マデンナの距離半身の相手にガリルで打ち勝っての強すぎ。
And the two players you're really looking out for is, well, by the way, on Eklot are Blitz and MBQQ. Blitz with a 1.17 over the last 3 months. Having some really big performances. Very adept with the rifles, but he in this round is going to have to try and do a lot with very little on that P250. So a player to definitely watch out for going forward. Grenades now tossed in. And Falcons just taking a split and pick approach. They must know that Eklot have like pretty rough finances alongside those 3 save weapons. Just gonna sit back and wait and see what unfolds.
Ooh. Info play out down towards dark. You swing with a pistol, try and reel the
今のシンプルがどれぐらい強いかもわかんないんだよな。なんかそれっぽい練習試合みたいなの FPL とかしてたけど。
Of course, still a little bit of a bonus to work with here for Falcons. You keep the previous weapons alive. The Khalil for Madden.
早くナビ vs ファルコンズが見たくね。
They're still situating themselves round towards the site right now. Bomb's been picked up by Madden. He comes and joins the rest of the squad. Can link up with Dupree. You've got a 2-pronged hit onto the site. But the penny's already dropped. They push their way out through A main. They've got the wrap around the back. Magisk on the peek out. Good for 1. Long range firefight. AK in his hands looking good. First taps there, stalls the response.
Two expendable players and Daito and Blitz could very well go in for this one. You want to hold on to the Galil and M4 realistically though. So it feels like it's going to be a dip in the pool at most, maybe some exit frags. Falcons will have a 3-1 lead coming into the first proper full investment round for Eklot. And what's your read of Falcons right now, Jackie? Like, I know there's a very small sample size with Simple, but do you feel like they could make it through here? Are they like a dark horse pick in your eyes?
It's weird, because I feel like, you've got the talent for it, you've got the firepower. It's one of those, right, where you look at it, you've got all the winning pieces. It just feels like something always goes a bit wrong. It's like they're cursed almost with some of the games they lost, the upsets they face, the way you just can't really find everyone playing their best at the same time. I don't know, Vince. It's a weird
Wow.
I think there's definitely potential they could make it through.
But
the bounty's on for me, this is a team that I think, really, it's not going to be an easy path, right? No matter who you play. Especially up against some of the other bigger names. They're gelled. They're 5 fingers on one hand.
サンパヤスキックしてさ、入れたのにシンプル入れたのにシンプルにアップかわせないのかな。まあでも、ガリルになってる。
One phone trade early on, but Snappy with that Mac 10 decides to try and make the most of that spawn and gets 2.
相手が弱すぎて参考にならないかもしれない。
And still elected to go for the Mac 10. And the run and gun style has boosted him into a 5-kill streak.
もうちょっとなんかその
Eklot will have to save one more time, although this could give them a chance, a bit of a labored spray from Kriaz, but he gets his man all the same.
シンプルをビビらせるようなプレイヤーがいないと。
Hunting for some prey, and Kriaz is not long for this world. The timing may favor him. Does Simple assume he's gone to the rogues? Absolutely not. Surely not a knife. He's going to find both players now, can shut them down. There's the first. Kriya's going to go in for that wide swing. And Simple does what Simple does best. And that is frag hard. Falcons 4-1. Eklot in trouble, man. That was a pretty weak showing a rifle round.
Yeah. Rounds like that is what's going to put this game into perspective, really. The duality of both of these two teams. You think about major appearances, not a single one on Eklot, all of them looking to have their debut in Shanghai at the Perfect World Major. Whereas for Falcons, combined, it's been 48 major appearances.
シンプルの元カノ、シンプル、一緒にゲームした彼女いなくなった。
Of course, getting to this round, it won't get any easier. Absolutely broken by just the one M4 that's kept alive. Everyone else rocking the AKs on Falcons.
And kind of getting back to that point, when there's all these rumors flying around about Jimmy and Spinks and these other players about potentially joining Falcons, I've heard Nico as well, obviously, is the famous one. If you're like a Madden, a Magisk, a Dupree on this team, maybe even a Snappy, you're thinking like, kind of got to have some success at this RMR major because our jobs are potentially on the line right now. So if that's going to maybe give them extra motivation to click to this and like put themselves in the best possible standing, I should say, for the future. This of course should be
いいね、
just
スナ
an
ッピ
eco
が、
batch
スナッピが
round.
だいぶ釣ってるぞ、偉い。これ、スナッピもう30歳だから、おじさんインゲームリーダーに求められるこの釣りの仕方。素晴らしい。素晴らしい陽動作戦ですよ、これは。
Little bit of damage back. One pick up there onto Snappy. Magisk low on health, but shouldn't really be able to find him. Meanwhile, Simple, he's roaming. Goes John Rambo for one of them. Strips the pistol out of their hands. It's FaZe really that's looking for the dedicated save here. Armor, M4 to be brought over. Zaitor as well with a Deagle. Just tuck on in, let this one go by, but it will be a 5th round. So they found the pistol, but it's been moot since then.
Yeah, exactly. Struck in the first round, then 5 back-to-back, and very convincingly so from Falcons, in all honesty. Bit of a flubbed pistol round,
ね、最初ね、シンプルアウプやらないって言って、アサルトや、そう CS2 のアウプがうんこだから、アサルトでやるって言ってたのに、なぜかわからんけど、サンパイアスがキックされて、シンプルがアウプ持って。やはりお前はアウプだ!
Starting the CT side's always under the cosh here on Anubis. But I think it's the nature and how we've seen them kind of just be dispatched in these rifle rounds. It's more cause for alarm. How easy it's looked. Snappy just running around with a Mac 10 farming. He's on nearly 120 ADR, by the way, with 6 kills.
I think that certainly what's made it look a whole lot more scary. Just the quality of the rounds when you've actually had firepower hasn't been there. Of course, you've taken a tactical time out here. You like to see that. At least going back into things here where you've got an even buy to play with. Put your best foot forward. Get replay the culture involved and then go back in, try and do some damage. Let's see if round 7 is a bit of a better eye test for Eklot. FaZe has the AWP this time. Rifle surrounding it. Simple with a scope himself as well. Takes the warning shot out through mid. Bit of a spam back. Brings him down to 76.
Important not to hemorrhage kills early on in this round, though, for Eklot. You've got to force Falcons into these awkward engagements towards the dying embers of the rounds. Flashes there, follow-up damage as well for Kriyaz. Taking minimal in return. I think that's where maybe Falcons will start to come apart a little bit, is on those late round executions. You just gotta stay alive and see what they've got. Nade thrown in as well behind that smoke. May just think someone might be hiding behind it, but that's not the case. And with 53 seconds left, Falcons starting to make a move now over onto the opposite side of the map on B. Molotov's down, Snappy's getting aggressive. This time though he's bested.
It's looking a whole lot better from them. It'd have to be something heroic now, and the dink instantaneously onto Simple leaves him with just a sliver of health. Nade rolls around the corner. Goodbye, Simple. Only Magisk remains, so
ちょっとシンプルのいいとこ見てみたいんだけどな、アップでな。
And it hasn't looked anything near clean for them. You've kind of been falling over on the sight hits, the 1v1s. This time at least finding impact, and FaZe with the scope, showing what he can do. Magisk looking for the save, spots the head of Blitz, takes that man down. Won't really be room to get the weapon out of his hands unless you go for the wild swing out through mid-side. No harm, no fail. Save the free weapons. Detour just went for the run-up to grab the AK and then tuck straight back in. Didn't want to run the risk of losing another weapons. They get the round and have a healthy buy going into the next.
Really slick crosshair placement as well, by the way, from Magisk at the end. Didn't even have to budge a millimeter, just insta headshot. Yeah, simple shot in the back and then finished off. Couldn't do much. Fair enough. Can't argue with that.
Top 10 Simple lines. That's another one. Instant classic, mate.
You know, I thought after seeing him die, he'd have something to say about it, and he didn't disappoint, did he?
Oh yeah, but I feel like we'll be getting quite a few of those. I'm living for it, mate. That's what I've missed.
Grenade tossed in, went behind that smoke, and meanwhile, Falcon's picking up the pace. Molotoving out onto A main already, forcing the early smokes out from Eklot. Conditioning them to be a bit more reactive than proactive in this half. Got to deliver on that promise, though, of course, and it's kind of deja vu from that last round. Flirtation around A main, but then backing back over onto B. This time, though, they haven't dealt any death in the hands of Kriaz onto middle. Could be a difference maker. The Falcons getting a lot of map control early on already.
Just shy of 50 seconds left on the timer. And it's back to basics with a late round hit on the B bomb site. Kriaz creeping out on mid. Could find some back turns. You can see the swivel on Dupree, a bit paranoid about this. Honed in on the angle now. It should be good for the read if he peeks out. Ooh, catches him. That's Dupree down. Forces the issue. Snappy baits the peak, Simple. Hits the connection. 20 seconds. You got to do something and do it damn soon.
ここから出るか？ここからスーパープレイ出せ。
Left on this one. Simple closes the
思い出すんだ、記憶を。シンプルさん、こんなんじゃアウパーできないよ。思い出してくれ。
Caught in the extremity of the smoke and Molotov. The play was burning. Still can't quite nail it. Highlighted was a huge part of this. Magisk just had to get around the back and didn't check all of his angles. So as poor as Eklot were looking a couple rounds ago, stability now coming from them. Taking the fight to Falcons, going in for those audacious flanks. It's much better. Dupree just doesn't look happy, does he, at all? Like, his body language is all over the place.
Yeah, wearing his heart on his sleeve there. Obviously, for Dupree, RMRs must feel a lot more problematic this time around. The all-time major record, 19 majors attended. 5 of them being wins, of course, as well. But he missed his first major last time around with the opening CS2 major in Copenhagen. That's what broke the streak. You don't want that to happen again, Vince.
That was with Preezy, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Yeah, last time around. They kind of came out of nowhere, captured the hearts of many CS fans. So yeah, I mean, Dupree, if you want to talk about CS excellence and royalty, he's definitely up there in the running. But he's up against a man many would say is the GOAT of CSGO. But you could say there's not really much of an argument about that one. Can he continue to deliver in CS2? That is a question many people are asking themselves right now as they watch on. Hasn't been the biggest test thus far. Good grenade damage though to Magisk.
シンプルアップチャレンジ3回目。いつまで味方がアップ落としてくれるかな。シンプルさんアップですここ。 あんまりアープ外すとアープクビになっちゃうから。
The past 2 rounds with the way they're opening things up with the HEs, being able to soften up their opposition. They're reserved as well. They're not overly cautious, not using their nades early off a little bit of a show. They're making sure they use it where they can. MBQQ back at the site. Magisk will put a bullet right between his eyes, and they've still got time to play with on this one. Don't need to commit just yet. Forzy finds the tap straight back, but Snappy on contact in. Craters Kriaz. And opens up a pathway into the bomb site. Rotation's coming quickly though. Detour could actually take down the bomb planter. That's on to Snappy. Look how low they are, Vince. Simple and Magisk with 11 HP combined.
Not much time, even 20 seconds on the clock, and they need to try and force this bomb down. They still need to retrieve it first and foremost. 15 seconds, Simple down to grenades once again. They need Dupree to activate. Smoke clearing, he's got the drop on both players. Spray is only
シンプル最後さ、でかい試合出たのいつだこれ。これ予選に1回借り出されてたじゃん。じゃなくて、ちゃんとチームでナビで最後に出たのいつだ。
So close though.
Felt like that was another one in the bag. They made it so uncomfortable. Such little time on the clock, about 6 seconds. He just had the bomb on his back that he knew.
あ、でもサンダーピックで VP とかでやってんな。
Expecting him to tap the bomb, looking for the plant. Instead, he keeps his crosshair honed on,
これオ
believes
フ
in
ラインか。
himself and hits the shot. 3 rounds ahead. Still cash flow to work with. CT's buy straight back in. Early utility usage, change of pace as well. They're going quicker this time around, running straight into the orb before Z though. That's Madden.
ESL プロリーグ。
Molotov forces him off the angle. He still wants to fight this.
I was really expecting a re-engagement with the two Molotovs.
2023
One to
年
back a pillar, one to back his sight. So kind of left in this
8
awkward
月か
no
ら
man's land in
10
the middle of the
月。
site. I was anticipating a
じゃ
flash
あ
into a
ほぼ
push.
1年ぶりか。
I'm not sure if it was paralysis by analysis or what happened there, but it felt like they may have missed their chance to
これオ
take
フラ
this
イン。
round.
これオフラインか。でも
Still
ボ
in
コさ
with
れ
a
てる
shot,
か
of
らな。
course, with 4 players, but you can see that there is now aggression elsewhere. On the extremity of A main, they've pushed out with Kreese.
まだシンプルアップもらえてる。
trying to take
嬉しい。
the fight to Falcons.
アップももらえ
These
る。嬉しさ。
very difficult to deal with. Additionally, they don't know if mid's been pushed. So much of the map is a big question mark as far as Falcons are concerned.
There's the jiggle on the swing. Oh, it baits the info just enough that they don't hard clear the corner. Snappy's going for it. Simple though. Quick on the draw. Wild West maneuvers. Strikes back with the orb. Nade damage is good on exit as well. Peering over the top of the smoke. You peek into this, you could be a dead man walking. But again, it's 30 seconds on the timer and you're trapped outside of the bomb site. Spam through from Detour. Softening them up massively. Simple. Left alive on 36 HP, but Magisk gives as good as he gets.
You could just hear that from the perspective of Detour. I think it was like, dink. There's one bullet through the smoke. Oh, must have been filth. Doesn't really matter though in the grand scheme of things, because Eklot have dragged themselves back into a 4th round. And again, this being the CT side of Anubis, like they're getting into a pretty solid half right now. When you consider it was 5-1 at one stage, and Eklot, if we're being honest, Jackie, they look dead and buried. I know it was super early, but I'm looking at it and I'm grimacing, thinking, oh no,
yeah,
this is going to be a bloodbath. So full credit to them for managing to withstand it and bounce back. And actually put Falcons to the sword now. They're making them sweat this one out.
I was on the same wavelength as you. Obviously, cash flow is one thing, right? You won the opening CT pistol, but then instantly get reset. So some awkward in-between kind of rounds with the weaponry they're using. As soon as the orb came alive for Forzy, though, he's been finding ways to crack open these rounds. He's keeping them guessing in terms of his positions. Snappy calls it again. They go straight back to basics. They want to go for this fast B play that they tried to slip into last time, running out towards the A site. MBQ snaps the head of Dupree.
シンプルなアップが火を吹きます。
Mass use of utility thrown over towards the site to allow him to actually push up close. It's Madden that's looking for the run out. Just committing to the plant.
Plan successful. Smoke's now beginning to dwindle and fade. So they're
シンプル
going
と
to
シンプルをしてシンプルを。
Kriaz comes out with the first in this encounter. Big shot from Madden. Needs to get onto Detour. Spray slightly off. And Detour will punish. Simple. In familiar territory with his back against the wall in yet another clutch post plant. First shot goes awry. He'll be flashed and forced away from that smoke and cannot deny the defuse.
これが俺たちが見たかったシンプルか。あれ
And these strats,
なん
by
て
the
こっ
way,
た。
Jackie, it feels like
あれ
Falcons are of this mentality, like Snappy's like, listen guys, we're just better. Let's just run and gun and just beat them on straight up duels. You're not going to get away with this forever, and especially not against the top flight teams.
Yeah, it felt like a bit of a snappy classic, right? Call the same strat twice, go for the fast hit, see if it works out. Boy, oh boy, though. You can see the contrast in weapons here going into the last round of the first half. They could equalize this. You could get a 6-6 on Anubis. For the CT side, with the start they had, it'd be a monumental comeback into it. Simple going to be smoked off early towards mid.
なぜこんなことに。
Weaker weapons lurking outside of A in case there's a run out. It's the Galil in the hands of Magisk with Snappy's
昔のシンプルだったらさ、ワンオンスリーでもさ、前出て殺せなかったか？こんばんは。そんなさ、ひよってたかあいつが。もっと前にさ、出てさ、俺らぶっ殺すぜっていうプレーをしていたのが、シンプルさんじゃなかったの？
Over 26 maps played in the last 3 months on Anubis, 41% CT round win rate for Eklo. That's even below the average. It's typically a T-sided map, but not that much. 58% T rounds go their favor. So if they can get the 6-6 here, Jackie, we are on for a very interesting second half.
Well, that 6-6 is one step closer. There's 40 seconds left. Walking up into the crosshair is Snappy, though. That could be the problem. MBQQ taken out. Krias, you've got a lot to do here. Camera control needs to be a huge talking point on the round if they commit to it, but they back off. They call quits on the play. They exit out. Snappy's rotating back around. They're going to dark. They're going to try and hit the B site instead. Up close, it's Blitz. He's tucked in. Do they clear him? Snappy looking for the response back. Good with the follow-up. Bomb's going to be planted. All on the retake then, made over, only does a bit of chip damage onto him. Detour strikes first, Forzy. 1v1 versus Simple, Knee goes down heavy. Eklo equalizing at the half, 6-6 versus the Falcons.
Oh dear, dear, dear. This is getting a little bit nervy
ファルコンにはこのチームに6対6になると思わんやろ。これやばいぜ。やばいぜ、CT。CT はさすがにアウパー当てると思うんだよね。待ってたら来るから。テロは行かなきゃいけないから。待ってたら来るから。それを願おう。
They will be considering their options going forward here. Snappy on the CT side now. Figuring out what's going wrong. And really, Krias played that so well in cams. You said he's going to have to deliver. Although he may not have got kills, he was positioned in a way that he heard every single footstep. The second that they pieced out of middle, he heard multiple sets of feet going back. This allowed a fast rotation around the CT side and a flank as well to come in. And they were in perfect position to deal with the straggling players once they got off that post plant. Really nicely done. Still anybody's game, of course. And I'll say again, the stats don't paint a great picture for Falcons, but this is Eklo, who are typically playing like tier 2, tier 2.5, you know, domestic matchups. So you've got to take it with a bit of pinch of salt. But what we do know is they are typically much better on their T half than they are on their CT side.
Oh, mate. A majority Czech team with Blitz hailing from Romania, Krias from Sweden. The vibes look good in the Eklo camp. They certainly would be, but this pistol round's important. You've taken the first. Can you find yourself the second on the half? Magisk eats the damage as well. 19 HP off the starting pistol. Oh, man. How's this one going to go? Madden looks for a little bit of a face. Wants the info play towards mid-side. It's 4Z Blitz. And a bit of backup there with Krias as well, rotating over. If they peek into this, could catch him on the timing. 2 frags found with another one added to the total tally as Blitz ruins Snappy with the block. They could be on board for their second pistol.
ナビのシンプルなら、ここから勝つ未来があった。希望を見せてくれ。
You would think coming into this, with no disrespect to Eklo, but when it comes to like fragging potential, the Falcons are going to be a level above. I did say this before though, when we were analyzing sort of in the pre-game, one thing about Falcons they do sometimes struggle with is firepower. You know, like Simple obviously came in with the intent purpose of being their star player, a heavy hitter. But when you go past him, who else is there realistically that's going to be posting up big numbers game in, game out? Majors has capabilities, sure. Dupree does as well, but he's 1-9 right now. Like you could see he's just not happy. He's not comfortable. This is where you run into that problem. If you're lacking firepower, you're going to get found out in these rounds.
That's a salt in the wound as well, because it's obviously their T side. You can set the pace of the game. They can actually take these engagements, take fights all over the map, wherever they want them. And that seems to be where they're at their best. For Falcons, second pistol's gone. Reinvestment comes out. 5.7s, upgraded pistols. Magisk with the MP9. Some nades. Couple of smokes, 4 of them to be precise, off the back of the first being thrown out early to block off the fast play in towards A main. But Eklop, I don't imagine they're going to run into the wind on this one. They'll play it slow.
This is the last time I mention this, but just to put it in context while we're in this round. Simple.
Hey.
2. After that, Madden 1.02, Majors 1.0, Dupree 0.94, and Snappy 0.88. The stats don't lie. And that's HLTV rating, which obviously takes into account multiple facets like ADR, damage done, these kinds of statistics. There was a huge drop off that simple. They've got the early 1v1 though in terms of a trade, but Majors feeling a little bit worse for wear down at 52. But that's kind of my concern right now. Having seen this map play out, I've not been won over just yet.
俺みたい。シンプルイコール俺ってことこれ今のシンプル俺と同じぐらいしかしてこない。やばいこれ。おー、やばいやばい。
And there's a bit of a damning statement. He's got Julie's here. 2 guns is better than 1. Let's see if he can have some fun out from camera. Tags, but no conversion. Doesn't take him down, so they get the sight. They get exactly what they wanted off the back of this. They keep those players alive, barely. Snappy on the wraparound, he's got a HE. Could find some impact. Tries to play his hand up close, spams out with a Mac 10. Nade's going to go alright.
タイムマシーン乗ってシンプルに CS2 をやめないように説得しなきゃいけないね、これね。いや、CS2 今出たばっかりはクソだけど、しばらくしたら多少良くなるから。やめないでどうかっていうしかない。みんなで。シンプルさんどうかやめないで。今はちょっとクソだけど。ナビ優勝するよ、メジャー。1回目でメジャー優勝するからナビが。そこまでは頑張ろう。説得していくしかない。
Dupree with death from above could get a second as well to a low blitz. Well, the bomb's going to finish off the plays if they're not careful. And Dupree goes in, getting a couple more kills for his name. He's going to draw away some of those rifles. Not bad damage inflicted to Eklot. The problem for Falcons is they can't really force in to punish it. They kind of have to sit back and hope for the best.
And as much as they spilled a lot of blood, dropped a lot of guns on the floor, you don't get any of them. You can't carry them over, man.
Are they force buying?
They're going straight back in.
ファルコンズって年俸高いですよ。ファルコンズのはね、サウジアラビアのチームなので、オイルマネーがいっぱいあるんですよ。オイルマネーが。マニーがいっぱいあるんで。
Instant tunnel vision.
It's the hero M4. All right, that makes a lot more sense.
まあ事実上無限に金が湧いてくる。
A lot more acceptable.
でなおかつ、まあ、デンマークもそうですけど、デンマークはオイルマネーの国だけど、まあ、国として e スポーツ盛り上げていきましょうって国としてね、この前大阪府がなんか e スポーツの聖地にまた言い始めてましたけど、e スポーツの聖地って何回も聞いたから、この十何年間で。この場所を e スポーツの聖地に何回も来て、一個も聖地ができてない。草生えない。ただ、サウジアラビアとかは e スポーツの聖地に行ってマジで国でやってて、王子がそういうの好きだから、ちゃんとこう国として都市構想を持ってやる力の入れようだから。どのファルコンズでも結構給料高いみたいな CS チームに限らず。
And sure, it's not a full investment. Falcons will have a buy into the next, but they had a golden opportunity to get closer and bring Eklot down. Maybe Madden can still do it with the P250. No one there watching Forzy's back. And Dupree now starting to make a move into position through on cams.
これ待って、負けてフナティックの相手とかだったら困るんだが、ちょっとやばい。俺の未来予知が当たってしまったらまずいこれ。ファルコンズ負けて次のフナティックの相手ファルコンズですとか言ったら、グエー新団子なっちゃうこれ。シンプルさんアバイありませんか？ SR 強いですよ。SR 強いゲーム。このゲームも SR 強いんだけどな。モネシーとザユーは。ザユー最近アウパっててないな。モネシー。
Madden's the only one making moves. Dupree, at least in the 1v1 up against D2, does connect it in the end. But that's a round that Madden saves for them.
耐えたな。
Yeah, 2 massive kills for Madden, as there will be enough time for the defuse, even without the kits. Oh, man, that was a roller coaster of a round. Snappy with 2, Simple doesn't make the most of it. They get the entries onto the site. You're thinking, oh, they've let this one go by. And then Madden with his P250 just comes alive. The clutch factor in this round for Falcons was huge. That is a great shot from Detour, to be fair. Take nothing away from the man. He did deliver in spades. This is where it got a bit weird. Like, I'm so surprised that Madden was given the opportunity to effectively take 1-for-1 engagements when you had 3 players still alive on the side. That's a bit of a head scratch, and I'm sure a bit of a tilt for Eklot, knowing they should have dialed in for a 9th round there.
And for the very first time on the CT side, it feels like Falcons are able to live the high life. Actually have a healthy buy to work with, and it's Eklot that has the shoe on the other foot. Kriaz has the rifle. Up close though, Dupree. Good for one, but Kriaz instantly trades. Runs in with the Kalashnikov and rips the head off. Simple. Juggling angles. They bait out the crosshair. He still holds strong on the fight. Madden again.
シンプルちょっと今怪しかったけど。やっぱり続けてる方が良かったよな。うん。
But still, it looks squeaky. It looks scary.
Yeah, there was definitely some trembling. Some tremors as they tried to hold on to the site. The good news though for Falcons is it was a full investment.
だってそう1年ぐらい離れてた。
Maybe some P250s, maybe a couple of Deagles, but nothing really too significant.
やっぱり別に勝てなくてもいいって。勝てなくてもさ、やっぱりこうね、経験値は減らないか。このなんか当て感みたいなのが減ってくじゃん、だんだん感覚がさ。プロのアスリートでもそうじゃない？うえー、スナッピー、キル稼ぎ完了。
Simple smoke shots with a USP and Snappy cleaning them up.
だからみんなほら。今野球オフシーズンだけどさ、みんなね、秋キャンプやって、秋キャンプの後は次オフシーズンあるけど、みんな自主キャンプして、本当の意味での休みってないじゃん。春は春でキャンプして、
It's like that meme, you know, the one where it's like when someone's trying really hard and they're sweating.
Yeah, that guy say it. Jeez, you could definitely clip that and take that as a meme.
Oh yeah, recreate that one.
It's properly into it. That's awesome.
And you got to be mad. He's leading by example, right? Like 17 kills. Yeah. Madden, as much as it's not as high on the total tally, he's had a ton of impact with the frags he's fighting.
休まる暇ないってないけど。
We need everyone to come alive right now. This is a game that by no means is over.
Just looked like his mouse weighed like 20 kilos or something like this.
He's got the dumbbells on it.
でもそうやって続けていかないと多
That's one
分、
way to get your exercise in.
感覚が変わっちゃうんだろうね。
There he is again. Man, how many SMG kills he picked up this game? It must be at least 10.
Yeah, it's like the majority of his frags have been all SMG, all Mac 10, all MP9. There's Anita gun. He's the bank right now. With 3 players left for Eklot. It's not the dream round they would have wanted going into the
机が
18th.
さ、閉まんねえなと思ったらさ、机の引き出しのさ、 上になんかネジがあってさ、ネジがだんだん緩んで落ちてきてさ、それが原因だった。あ、シンプルアップ
All the info
いけい
in
け
the world can be passed over to the players on the B bomb site because of this.
100%. And they know they can lock in position, they can get the rotation come through as well. You can see they've got so many angles to watch on the site now. No one had to fall off. They want to find intel. And ARTISAN may want to try and save. There's a snake in the grass. Snappy, though, has been beheaded. Simple is going to keep this round underway, and time does the rest for them. FaZe could be going down after time, though. The spray's not good, but they're Simple from the back. Definitely worthwhile for Falcons. Yes, they lost 4 players, but they have crippled FaZe economically. He's down at $600.
A heist from Falcons at the end there. Break the bank. And of course, with a ton of money in their back pockets, you're not going to care. You can instantly reinvest. Most players on like 10K right now. They're bankrolling, so they can buy straight back into it. ARTISAN, nowhere near similar. And with the scoreline getting so dangerously close in this opening BO1 for Falcons, it's insult added to the injury.
Also, to put it in perspective, by the way, how rough Falcons have had it as of late. They're on an 8-match loss streak coming into the RMRs. Last play against... They've obviously had plenty of time to boot camp and get everything set up properly, but it's all red in their results column. So this would be a good time to make it some green. You're talking about green for envy, the players and people aren't able to watch these games. Well, ARTISAN can only watch on as their opposition leapfrog ahead of them and make moves towards that very mark. After having so many chances and advantages in this game, and a full half buy into middle, and they're being smacked down by tons of grenades. Snappy this time missing out on some kills, but goes back in for seconds and does get punished.
Ooh.
Might have reeled them in enough though that Simple can do the rest of the work for them. On the jump back across, the Tech-9s deliver. Hang on a minute, this is now a 2v2. They're Tech-9s. They're up close, running on in. Dupree. That's the spray we wanted to see.
だんだん見れる数字だ。さすがに負けないわな。さすがに負けないわ。
Clean, but they're still being able to find wins. Oh, mate. Scary scenes. And the reinvestment's there. AK's back out. 2 fights Snappy took as well. He's been farming with the SMGs. This time the bullets just went everywhere, but he wanted them to.
Oh, nice. One more minute. Can he go, camera? No.
I just love as well that Snappy has fully embraced, like, I need to be the super aggressive. You sometimes see Carrigan doing this as well when FaZe is struggling just a little bit. He's fully embraced that. Oh, Flash is good, but Simple still loses his dome through the smoke. Exquisite entry frag, but they need to build off the back of that one. And Dupree may have started slow, but he's heating up right now. Spraying off, though, gets delved into as they make the incursion and the incision onto the site. No one there for Falcons to stop them. They've already backed off to save.
Lovely shots through the smoke as well. Fight back onto Simple. Dupree up close, overwhelmed on Dark. And like you say, because of it, knock-on effect is Snappy and Magisk have to save. There is still good money on a couple of the players, both Simple and Magisk. Nearly 9K in the pockets. Oh, Blitz. Hello? See him? 4x3 over the top.
He was so busy just enjoying the sightseeing on beach, he just didn't spot him. Oblivious. But survives. FaZe's had a hell of a game, 16-8 to his name, even though his team is struggling right now. In terms of his individual stats, he's got 4 multi-kill rounds and 3 open duels.
Oh, it's even more gross on the replay. Full blind through the smoke, shots back.
Yeah.
God damn, Vince. And I think it's interesting as well, right? You bring up FaZe, right? That was obviously with a rifle. CT side is coming alive with the He gets it straight back here.
That is true. Detour's also had a hell of a game. 83 ADR, 17 kills, 5 multi-kill rounds. Lovely stuff from him. The player that just nailed Simple through the smoke beforehand. And it's not going to surprise anybody if you've been watching the game that Snappy is top of the ADR charts for every single player on the server. 18 kills, 97 ADR with 4 multi-kill rounds. Really leading the charge for his team and trying to put them in the best possible stead at that 1-0 bracket. There's going to be some scary teams in that 0-1. Cloud9's already down there. Fnatic are already down there.
It's not where you want to end up. And the fight's not over for either one of these teams. ARTISAN keeping it close. Forzi. Curious to see how much impact he'll find with his AWP this time around. Simple's got one as well, but he's not posted up in the usual location on B. He's round towards A, supporting the rest of the squad. Posturing from the T side. Looks for a late hit on the B bomb site. Exchange of nades at mid, tons of noise. Dupree's got the molly primed in his hand. He can drop the incendiary if they go for the audio cue down on the fight. Might get backstabbed though. He's got a backpedal from this, tries to defend. 1-for-1 trade. Kriaz, instant opener. Snappy on the site looking to assist, but they're still finding pickups. T-side, carving away back into the bomb site.
Snappy trying
to stay alive, but there is a small gap in the smoke, and Kriaz will exploit that.
この最近までで微妙なスモークの切れ目抜いてくるやつだるいね。抜けてくるやつ。最近流行ってるよね、多分ね。前より抜けてくるような気がする。
Falcons have no idea, and to make matters worse for Simple, he's lost his partner in crime. He's lost his bodyguard. And now he has to do it all alone if he wants to hold on to this AWP, but there is also a flanking contingent from Kreese. Simple in all kinds of problems. Is he really thinking of trying to push out and ninja this? Gets spotted, he can get this kill, there was a way forward, but MBQQ holds the line. There was a split second there. I thought he was going to successfully pull off the cheekiest of plays.
Really brutal for them. Obviously, just a few rounds ago, they were high rolling, all the money in the world.
いやー、選びづらいな、選択肢が。シンプルがこれアップで3キルぐらいすれば、グッドです。願うしかない、俺たちは。
This is their opener at the RMRs, Vince, and they are playing like they want to take this win. They are not giving up.
Nah, they're not rolling over, and they're certainly not dying. I do wonder if Majors can't have died. I don't think Simple goes for that ninja attempt, by the way. I think he felt like he was a dead man regardless, so might as well try and take the round win.
いや、めっちゃブルブルしてない？
Oh, double nades, touchdown, perfect. Executing him.
なんかすげえわかるこれ。
Just pure shrapnel. And now Snappy isolated. Segregated from the side. Can hear it being planted, wants to try and thread through the smoke for the denial, but instead loses his life. And in doing so, Falcons now find themselves a player behind, and with their money in the drain, they can't really justify going for this Jackie. We'll be tied back up at 11 apiece. After Falcons went on a tear in this half, 5 unanswered rounds, they're now hanging by a thread. Is it really possible that Eckler are about to do this?
確かにプルプルだね。
プルプルだよね。
11 to 11. Simple with the AWP trying to be the savior of the site at the back.
さっきのシーンをもう一度。
He just can't have died. I don't think Simple goes for that ninja attempt, by the way. I think he felt like he was a dead man regardless, so might as well try and take the round win.
ほら、なんかさ。
I think he felt like he was a dead man regardless, so might as well try and take the round win. Attempt, by the way. I think he felt like he was a dead man regardless, so might as well try and take the round win. Speaker man no delivers. Oh, double nades, touchdown, perfect.
それはおもろいな。
Executing him.
ワロタ大草原。
He just.
それは面白い。
So might as well try and take Round.
なんか変だよな。
Speak of the man though, delivers. Oh.
Sight at the back of A finds one. Sight at the back of A finds one pick.
見えてからさ、打つまでがさ、遅いよね、なんかね。いや、イプスなのかな、なんか見えてから打つの遅くないのかよ。前だったらもうさ、このさ、敵が投げてくる、ここら辺で打ってたじゃん。敵のグレが、来たって時にさ、もう、肩ぶち抜いてたじゃん。
It's having that interpersonal relationships with players that can help a ton. Some players need to kick up the backside, some need an arm around the shoulder. But what Falcons need right now is just a round win, and they've lost Dupree. Sneaking his way down into canals. We've not really seen Falcons go for this play yet. And the first time they pull it out the hat, it gets taken clean out. Expelling him from having any further say in this round. Now, a solid grenade was there as a parting gift. It doesn't change the dynamic of this round, and Falcons having to use a lot of their grenades already. Desperation creeping in, desperately trying to fend them off.
要は詰め切ってから行こう。
Everything on A main. Snappy goes in for the info. Oh. Maybe this has tricked them as well, leading them to believe that they're actually going to backpedal, posture off, go for the late hit towards the B side, but they've just cut noise. They're taking extra space. They can go for a two-pronged attack, out through camera. Snappy, it was rough last time with the MP9, but this time he's got the drop on him. No, he doesn't. Detour spots him. MP9 deleted from the server. Another frag to their favor. Looking to take match point here versus Falcons, and they've got a pathway onto the bomb site. Only one man there, it's Magisk. Can he go monstrous with the M4? Trying to hold back the wave, they run on in. First headshot to clean connection, seconds there as well. Flick up, but too little too late. Madden arrives, MP9 shuts down Detour, but he's gone to force it in. It's all
助けてくれ、シンプル。お前がヒーローになるんだ。よしよしよし。あ、イエス。このチームを救ったぞ。よしよしよしよし。帰ってきた帰ってきた。記憶がぼんわり帰ってきた。よしよし。これは2020年22年ぐらいのシンプル。記憶がだんだん来た来た来た来た。
They know how important that round is. They were eyeing up being into an eco right now, or a full force with like 5.7s MP9s.
モニター揺れすぎだろ大草原。
Oh, what a moment in this game.
モニター今回ね AOC のいつものBenQじゃないモニターで、ね。
They still need to close this out.
You would have been playing for the overtime. Now that's what Ekla have to do, and Dupree with the smoke shot straight through dark. A ton of impact on that one. An important time to win his 1v1 versus Kriaz in the close quarters engagements. They've come back from worse, but it is not going to be easy. 60 seconds on the timer here in the 24th round. Blitz, bombarded by the nade, tagged up. Dupree playing anti-flash, got support from Madden for the full attack. They're going to go in together, crouch walk into the crosshairs. Madden with one, MBQQ back for two as well. And they still on for this. Can they force us to the OT? It's simple on the site.
Another moment of brilliance will be required. From the start, so much damage through the smoke though from Snappy. Forcing MBQQ, both tagged to around 10 HP. Could be finished off through the smoke as Mages gets aggressive, and there is Snappy with two. Now shows his hand. He's been so clinical, so huge this entire match, but he will not have any further impact. Detour shuts him down for his 23rd, and we head to OT.
An explosion of kills on the bomb site.
あったけどな。
They thrive in the carnage at the end there. So close to tasting victory in the BO1 versus Falcons. Thrown a curveball, bested by Simple, soaring through the sky once again with the MP9, the 1v2 at the back of B. But they equalize. They do not give up. They don't roll over. They don't crumble. They take us to overtime, reset the game. Opportunity again now for Eklot. And with how they've been playing, they've got a damn good chance.
there'd have been so many naysayers of Eklot. Like, yeah, sure, they've got loads of wins online, but that's different to the RMRs. You're going to be playing against better caliber teams now. Well, they've came here and they have delivered. There are multiple times that a lesser team would have crumbled. They'd have just faded away. Oh, well, we got beat by Simple. It is what it is. Now, these guys are here and they are fighting for every scrap, every inch of this map. After a horrendous loss in the previous round in that 1v2 for Simple, the Guardian Angel of Falcons, they did not let it stop them.
Let's fucking go! Let's go, Ditor! Guys, we are so much better on this fucking map.
Let's fucking go! Let's go!
To hear it, mate. The self-belief is all that's important.
Yes.
Counter-Strike is confidence. Showing that right now. Forget about the issues with cash, though. Money all across the board. FaZe and Simple. The AWPers that can do so much for either team. Armed with their signature weapons again, but Simple takes a ton of damage, forced off the advanced angle from mid.
You can understand why they're saying that we're so much better on this map. It has been individual moments of madness from Snappy, from Simple, that's really kept them in this game. Hot off the back of winning that second pistol round. So Eklot have every right to feel confident.
Yeah.
Enemy at times in this matchup.
シンプル HP 半分しかない。すげえ。
Taking significant damage may stop his endeavors in A main for the time being. Down to 32. Doesn't want to take bullets through the smoke. Done a good job, though, of getting plenty of this utility off. There's only one smoke left with 49 seconds on the clock and an incendiary on top of it. The choices now for Eklot are plentiful. They don't have mid control. That is one potential problem, but Blitz is trying to rectify that right now. Uh-oh.
3 bullets left, panic setting in, gives up the position. Smoke deep as well, and they're not actually going for the mid play. It's all a setup for the late hit onto the back of B. Madden, they're going to run you down. Up close and personal, Dupree on the off angle, goes in, good damage. Madden and Simple activating in unison, and one by one, Eklot are falling to pieces. You've only got 8 seconds left to clutch this one out. Simple with the collapse. Only required 1 bullet.
Oh, normally it's 3 strikes and you're out, but Simple had plenty of lifelines in that round. When he missed those first 2 in mid, I was fearing the worst for him. A really good hold from Dupree and Magisk, though. And there is the lineup. 2 for 1. Low time left. Why not throw in the Hail Mary? And you've got tons of bodies around you to spray down with the M4s. Eklot, though, did have moments in that round as well. I don't think anyone was anticipating it to be this close when we started this best of 1. And yet here we stand. Kriya's on the corner, good flash. Simple getting peppered.
それはやりすぎ。
Picked off. Huge gap to take so early on.
それはちょっとやりすぎちゃうね。
Get away with taking some liberties on the peak as well.
張り切りにも程がある。
You spot Snappy, cast out the utility. And get Falcons in their own heads, expecting the play out towards A. Spray down from Magisk, back of the pillar. Bullets don't land. Snappy.
しかしそれがシンプルだ。
It's been Madden making hero maneuvers again and again, but only 2 frags. Throws it over to Dupree. And shot straight in the back as FaZe had the.
終わんねえぜこれ。俺飯食いに行く準備しちゃうぜこれ。
So much resilience from this Eklot bunch of players. Man, they are looking solid right now. Falcons making mistakes, but Eklot are punishing it so efficiently. I mean, it's the flash into double spray onto Simple to kick things off, and he didn't really have any bodyguard system either. Was playing all up on his own lonesome. Do keep in mind, though, that the CT side started very poorly for Eklot. So it feels like they may need this round. If it goes away of Falcons, they're going to be in trouble. Shot across from FaZe, does miss out onto Snappy. He's keeping himself aggressive in mid.
It's been Kriaz and Snappy clashing early into an awful lot of these rounds. again here, he just posts up, seeing if there'd be any maneuvers out towards mid-side. Simple pressure put on him. Supporting Dupree inside a dark, forced out, holds the angle, miss on the shot though.
シンプルらしくない。
That one does not land.
ちょっとまだ時間かかるかも、シンプル戻って
You've
く
got
るの。
more information, slowly squeezing an idea of where the setup is from the Falcons, and they opt to group up once again. Bit of pressure back towards mid-side, see if they can slip out, go for the split push play onto the A site.
Snappy with a jiggle. Pete wants to throw it and send Yuri down. Well timed. Going to keep the tees at arm's reach. Allows a rotation quickly. But they're actually stacking plays still over on B. They haven't budged an inch, and it could be the correct decision. They've done enough to force them back. There's not going to be much time left. And Simple in the shooting gallery. Kneecaps Detour. Has spot multiple players drop down.
うわ、もう一回ローテされてる。やばい。やばい、これ、相手がうまい。うわ、いい1位。いいよ、今の1位。10秒。うわ、耐えたー。耐えたー。耐えたことに意味がある。よしよしよしよし。
Final nail in the coffin, but in a lot of these rounds it felt like they were the ones being set up on a date with the coroner. So many times that clock were able to abuse, find ways in, even in rounds where they were down and out. And only one round of difference between both of them. They've contended with similar scorelines over the course of regulation. But the second half of OT is where it counts.
Such a close, well-fought battle between these two. It's almost a shame that we have to have a loser come the end of this. But 0-1 beckons from one of these two teams. Good moves indeed.
誰もタッチしてくんない。席が離れてるから。
Rotations towards the end there for Falcons to contend with, but they were in the right place at the right time. And again, I go back to in regulation. They got 6 rounds, but 5 of those were at the end of the half. It was dominant for Falcons in the early stages. So if Falcons can continue that kind of form, this one could be over pretty quick. It's down to ARTISAN now with a double orb setup.
まあ CS2 になってピーカーズアドバンテージがね、めちゃくちゃまあ、ある程度今緩和されたけど増えて、アープめちゃくちゃ最終枠だったんだよね。これはまあアープみんな弱くなった弱くなったっつって言って。まあ押されなかったのはモネシぐらいだったんだけど、それでやっぱりアウパーであるシンプルはまあちょっとストレスを感じて、こんなクソゲーやらねえぜ。まあCS1.6 から CSS になった時もそうだし、CS1.6 から CSGO になった時もそうだし、まあ一定数はいるんだよね、そのこんなクソゲーやらねえぜっていう人たちはさ。でもほら CS1.6 から CSGO を俺らは経験してるからさ、まあクソゲーでもやらんといけんやん。もう俺らは別にプロじゃないから、俺らって俺たちはね、プロじゃないからやんなくてもいいんだけど、バルやっちゃおうっていいんだけどさ、こいつらはプロだからやらんといけんや、どう頑張ったの。それでもったいないことしてやるしかなかった俺。
Softens him up. They're in their post plant, set up for this. Snappy with a nade in his hands, dashes it deep, again, making it more uncomfortable. They're all here, revving their engines. They've got flashbangs to instigate the push, but it's got to be absolutely pristine, especially with the timer being the 6th man on the server for Falcons. Snappy in a prime time angle, cannot deliver though. Detour blind, still fragging. Dupree clashes back. Magisk inside a dark, shrouding the round in an air that should be Falcons as Magisk spray seals onto 2 with no real time.
What?
Forzy trying to bait them in, but even if he does, the bomb's going to detonate in his face.
我慢した。よく今マジスク我慢した、出ずに。危ねえ。
They climbed to 15, all right, and this is where that double AWP setup is a bit of a problem for ARTISAN. They should be able to still juggle around enough grenades to be dropped across the teammates, but MBQQ was without an incendiary, without a flash. have another double up to play with wasn't really effective anyway because they're retaking most of the round.
Shut the fuck up.
Okay, I'm sorry, Simple. I will. Right. My bad.
Oh, it's taught you a lesson, Vince.
My lips are sealed.
Big man Sasha told you what's up.
I do wonder what the context for that was, though.
Yeah.
Like, are you telling Snappy that?
Oh, God. All right. Well, they're on match point again. 16. That's the number they're looking for to close it. Has to be 2 CT rounds back to back. Awful lot of damage early as well. Similar start, Kriaz taking tons of damage from the util. Left on sub 50.
Creeping their way through that spot right now. The entry is clean. Kriaz needed the kill, got it, but it's going to be traded out immediately. FaZe, though, in the right position and the right time to pull the trigger. And they have done enough to pull back away the T's, but have a quick look at Dupree. He's already on B site. He's got it cleanly cut as well and can smoke off Temple. This facilitates his teammates to come in and blitz so desperate. May have assumed that was a set play smoke from outside of B. Just run straight into the AK. And this could be the beginning of the end for Eklot. They desperately need this 2v3. FaZe and Detour in moves. Nearly 50 kills between the two of them. But the positions are looking so difficult to deal with. And Simple providing the watch spot from Con. Madden playing with his food up close with the AK. They're going to force their way out, but they double peek him. And there's no re-engaging frag. The timer is low on the bomb. Simple just needs to hold fire for one frag. That could be good enough. Lands the shot. There we have it. Falcons withstand all those tests and dial in the 1-0.
助かった。あー、危ない。記憶がだいぶ記憶がね、返ってたね。危ない危ない。これにはシンプルもにっこり。そうなってくる。さすがにファルコンズには勝てないからな。で、今のところ、今のところ、
like realistically, there was 2 or 3 rounds you should have won. Like simple, crazy clutch. You had a couple moments from Snappy, who was just like smurfing in the first 10 rounds or so.
あ、ソウが負けてる。やべえ、ソウが来るかもしれない。
シ
ナーズ勝ったんだ。こっちらまだオスカーいるぜ。オスカーおじさん何歳だよ。33歳だ。わお。頑張るね。頑張るね。いや、これはね、全試合終わってから次のその勝ち負けの点差かなんかで決まるのかな。フォレストはちょっとしょうがない。まあ、スウェーデンでできないからね。この勝ち負けで決まる感じかな。勝ち数、負け数があるから。これで勝敗が決まってます。なんで今日の試合が全部終わってから明日試合が出ます。
My concern for Falcons, though, even after winning, is you're now in that 1-0 bracket. If you end up going against like a Mouse, a NaVi, a team like this, you play like that.
いや、今日の夜もやるんじゃないかな。やらないのかな。
You are going to lose the game if you play like that.
今日の夜もやるのかな。ロワーで。今日いっぱい試合見れるんじゃない？ちょっと俺焼肉食いに行っちゃうけど。多分この後もあるはず。ないのかな。あ、17時から15分。ずっといいじゃん。今日の20時までやってるよ。ちょっともう出かける準備をしなきゃいけないので、配信はちょっと今日はここで終わり。ですが、ここから続きが見れますので、フナティックの試合がね、早めに決まればいいんだけど、多分まだ決まらないから、ちょっと18時には家を 18
This really could have been an opening win, even in regulation. That's kind of the crazy thing about it, right? Is you were winning. If that round never happens, if you just get the 2K with,
18時50分
which
か
I think was like either the second to last bullet or the last bullet.
ああ、で
in
も
the
まだ見れ
end
るか。
right?
いや、でも準備、まだい
None
ろ
of
いろ
this
準
would
備終わってないか
happen,
ら、
but
準備して、
God, I mean, you make it
そうだ
through
ね。忘れ
barely
物な
though,
いしていくか
scary
ら。
scenes
じゃあま
into
た
the overtime,
みんなで見ましょう。
16-13.
明日もやってるから、明日は仕事中だ。
It's a great test of yourselves. You've given potentially players and
う
people
ん、明
around the
日は
world
仕
that
事
don't know
中
much
だ
about。your game a big reason
ここ
to
ら
say,
辺とかだ
okay,
な。
they have a bit of a
全部仕事中やんけ、昼間は。まあみんなでさ、配信は見れないけどさ、俺みたいにリモートワークできる人は、みんなで配信見とこうぜ。配信は、俺が配信はないけど。そんな感じで、また今週か来週行きましょう。お疲れ様でした。
And by the way, that simple play was 11-11 at the time. So that was the difference between quite literally